You're about to watch another exciting episode of the Dungeon Run, but did you know that you can actually be part of the adventure? Tune in live on Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and you can make your voice heard and help determine the fate of our adventurers. Hope to see you there.
Greetings! And welcome to the Dungeon Run, a live tabletop role-playing game where your interactions help tell the tale. And a special hello to everyone watching live for the first time. Hello! So glad you could join us. And I'll see you in chat during the show. Right now, leave me alone. I've got an intro to do. I am Lord Ereban, Keeper of Secrets, and your host for tonight's campaign. Together, we stand witness as our intrepid adventurers face terrible danger and most certain doom in their quest for glory, valor, and most importantly, treasure. As you'll see, all of the players are still working from home and practicing their social distancing. As soon as the time is right, I'll let all of the players back into my dungeon. Now, throughout our time together, you will be called upon to help guide decisions made within the game. In addition to our live chat interactions, those that are brave enough can purchase one of our unique props. Tonight, we have 4 Dungeon Run props. Number 1. If you love the show, you can show love. And when you buy Show Love, Jeff will see it and may read your name out during the game, showing you some love. And of course, you can show love to any member of the team. It's up to you. Number 2, you could bestow upon the adventuring party the gift of advantage, the ability to roll a pair of 20-sided dice at once, taking the highest value. That's a good thing. And number 3, you could set the trap of disadvantage. If a player has advantage, this disadvantage will counter it. And if the player does not have an advantage, well, they will roll a pair of 20-sided dice and take the lowest value. After all, life is pain. Thank you, Willmeister. And yes, guess what? Who would have guessed? Milo's ball is still out. Oh, is that really the case? Milo! I told him to put it away, but as you know, he doesn't ever listen to me. Well, joke's on him, because we're not using force cards yet, so it doesn't affect the game, Milo, but it still affects you. Of course, it will kill him, so please don't use one. It is going to be the death of my minion. Now, when you give props, please specify which player at the table it is for, or I will make the choice for you. Do you understand? Also, for all things Dungeon Run, head over to thedungeonrun.fandom.com. There you will find more information on our characters. And yay! Cosmic Lord! Milo's dead. Can someone clean up? We need a clean on aisle 3, please. He is down. All right. There you will find at thedungeonrun.fandom.com. There you will find more info on our characters, Dungeon Run merch, and the link to the Dungeon Run Discord, where you can join a wonderful community of runners. And you can download or upload, your fan art there as well. Reza! What did you do that for? Now he's exploded! Now we really need a cleanup. This is ridiculous. A 2 right out the gate. I can't. Right, I'm going to keep my emotions in check. Listen, if you want to upload your fan art, go for it. You can do it at thedungeonrun.fandom.com. And to those who have already submitted, I see you and I thank you. Now, can we please move on? Let's meet our brave souls, the cast of characters. first place, I don't know if first place is the right thing to say, but
I
Jared
like it.
K-Jack as Sivred Thessalier.
You can be my hype man anytime. Anytime.
I love you. Jared, you sound like you're in some sort of like quiet booth. Is that what that is?
Do I need to crank myself up?
Yes,
All
I
right.
want you cranked, at least for me. My goodness. Thought I had terrible hearing there for a second. Anyways, that's Jared K. Jackie Sivred Thistle. Number 2, or in second place, Jessica Lynn Parsons as Fahima Tiger.
Second place is better than last place, am I
I
right?
don't know why I'm giving numbers. All of a sudden I'm doing places now, which you're all in first place and last place at the same time. It's just crazy. I'm so sorry. Let's continue. Morgan Peter Brown as James Quilla.
Does this mean I get the bronze medal?
Yes.
If I'm the last medalist, I'm
You're
very
third place.
pleased.
All right, fine. You're
Okay,
third.
great.
You're third.
Okay, I'm very
Well,
sorry to
you're
Ron and
first as
Katie.
well.
Anyway.
Now, I'm not going to say 4th and 5th for Ron and Katie, but if I do, I apologize in advance. All right, 4th. 4th place, Ronald Ogden as Argo.
Hey, at least I placed. That's, at least I placed.
Yes.
How you doing, Lord A?
Good. I like the new background.
Thank you.
Nice.
It's
very
it's
clear
nice.
and
Yes,
creamy.
It's clear and creamy.
Very nice.
Like my skin.
And finally, last but not least, in 5th place, if we're still doing this, Katie Michaels as Lily Dumblestar.
You know what they say, save the best for last.
They sure do.
Right?
And as always, I love your background. It's so festive.
Thank
and
you.
Thank you all for being here. And now, the one that you've been waiting for, I know, because I have too. Our dungeon master, the man himself, Mr. Jeff Cannata.
The one everybody's waiting for, good old 6th place.
He's in 6th, everyone. 6th. Now, as their journey continues, I, Lord Ereban, will be joining you in the social conversations around the game. So keep an eye out for my avatar and comments. Oh, and yes, before we begin, I have a favor to ask of you. It would give me great pleasure if you would share the show. Just click below and let all of your admirers know that you are watching The Dungeon Run, the greatest show that has ever been written and has ever been performed by beautiful live people in a live scenario in the universe. Now, keep the comments coming. Be ever vigilant and let
Those are
the
tense.
dice roll.
All right.
Yay.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 51 of the Dungeon Run.
Wow, that rhymes.
Oh.
If this is, that's all rhymes tonight.
That would be so impressive.
If this is your first episode, welcome. Fear not. We have a lot of backstory, but I'm going to fill you in on all the essential information so you can jump right in here. So excited to have you with us if you're new. So excited to have you with us if you've been here since episode 1. We are going to jump right in. Are you ready? It started as a simple dungeon run. 5 adventurers.
You count. You're the 6th.
What happened? What happened
You're
to
an
number
adventurer.
6?
I already broke the show.
There's Mr. Whispers.
5
Airbend.
adventurers who retrieved a magical amulet that turned out to be one of the most powerful artifacts in the world. An amulet that connected them to you, the watchers of the time stream. And in your wisdom, you used it to reveal to them the location of a grand prize. Their old foe, a pirate named Whitebeard, put his most valuable treasure inside a vault in the city of Turles. But what was it? And how did it get there? Answers that seemed impossible to know in their own time. But somehow, some way, these 5 adventurers have been transported back in time, thrust into the lives of 5 sellswords 22 years in the past, working with Whitebeard to acquire that treasure. First, they captured a fugitive of the Shazengao Empire in the north, a Triton named Choran, who claimed to know where the Dragonborn dynasty's cache of valuables was hidden. He offered the knowledge in exchange for help reaching his wife and young son, who were waiting at the Isle of Rum in the city of Boster.
But upon reaching Boster, the team discovered that Choron's family had fled the city and sailed into the Castle Rum, a haunted mansion detached and floating in eerie waters, only reachable by boat. The journey itself was said to be perilous, a sanity-breaking assault on the senses. To survive, they were told they would need a substance called the liquor of the dead, a foul concoction distilled inside rotting corpses. Lily and James managed to find a supplier of the vile drink, a man calling himself the Viscount Wingerstick's envoy, a strange, debilitated creature living inside a lighthouse on Ocean's Gull Point. He allowed them to dig up a jug of the liquor of the dead in exchange for a promise that they would relinquish their own corpses to him in the event of their demise. With pints of the tincture in hand, their journey began, the lighthouse illuminating the dark seas leading to the island castle. But their sanity was indeed tested, as they encountered a ghost ship full of specters that bombarded their minds with paranoia and unrest. Arriving at the castle, the team discovered the manor had its own tale to tell. Each room a piece of a larger puzzle, revealing snapshots of a disturbing history. Murders and betrayal culminating in the lady of the house sheltering with 2 of her 3 children inside a secret room hidden behind a bookcase. But a servant by the name of Jaspin killed her husband and trapped her inside, setting fire to the castle as she screamed and pounded on the walls. Seeing this vision play out, Lily and James immediately recognized the servant as the Viscount himself, the same man from whom they had acquired the liquor of the dead. When the vision ended, the team unlocked the secret room to discover Choron's family hiding inside, a dragonborn woman and a half-dragonborn, half-triton boy of only 5 years old, holding tightly to a small toy in his hand, Baojai and Chomel. But as they stood there, it was undeniable. The boy named Chomel was the same person who would grow up to be Yan Mo, the warrior who fought them during their adventure at the bottom of the deep reef, the leader who commanded an army to decimate Lily's island home of Bingle and forced her mother and sisters into servitude inside a bubble on the ocean floor. But no sooner had the team made that realization than the lady of the house herself appeared, a ghostly phantasm with wild eyes passing effortlessly through the walls and into the room, floating between them and Choron's family. The team leaped into action, attacking the lady of the house, despite Baojai's protestations. When Lily finally convinced the team to stand down, they witnessed the specter disperse the other ghosts in the house, defending them and protecting Baojai and her son. The Heroes of Bingle then made their escape, ushering everyone down the stairs and out the front door, even as the lady hovered hauntingly behind them. But when the team finally made it out of the castle, a new danger befell them. The creepy wood and feather figurine that Chomel clutched in his hand began to vibrate and convulse, eventually transforming into 2 malevolent creatures, a wicker boy made entirely out of sticks and a winged devil able to command the very birds in the trees. Civ wasted no time. He sprinted forward and grabbed the young Chomel, making a break for the water. Meanwhile, Fahima blasted the wicker boy with a fireball, only to see the wooden monster catch fire and burn unharmed. With Civ and Chomel out ahead, it turned into a race to the beach, the winged demon flying as fast as it could to chase them, the rest of the team hurling spells and tiny crustacean hammers at the enemies as they tried to keep up. Finally, James and Lily dispatched the wicker boy, who revealed itself to be the 3rd son of the lady of the house. Reunited and at peace, the lady retreated with the ghost of her son inside the castle one last time, and the structure was released from its transitory state, exposing a burned, empty ruin. Meanwhile, Civ forced Chomel under the water, confident that the half-triton could breathe there. The gambit worked, and the winged demon eventually flew off into parts unknown. As we ended last week, the team decided to leave the island and return to their ship anchored offshore. But the small rowboat they arrived in could not fit the entire group in a single trip. So Uggo rowed Fahima, Lily, Whitebeard, and Choron in the first group, while James, Civ, Chomel, and Baojai remained on the beach, waiting for the dinghy's return. It's always good to end a speech dramatically with the word dinghy.
Dinghy
Yeah,
return.
always.
I was like, that should be the name of the episode.
The
Dinghy's return.
Not bad. It's not bad. All right. That is where we're going to
Shout
pick
out.
up. I should note right here at the top, we had a potato drop at the top.
Whoa! Woo!
The potato has already dropped. Calcanius, thank you for that potato drop. Wow. Right at the beginning. Before we even started, potatoes were flying.
Crazy.
So thank you.
Gosh,
We
potato
appreciate
drop
that.
needs like a dance and a song that goes with
Yeah, we
it.
need some sort of potato drop protocol. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Smash that potato.
All
Yeah.
right. So,
What? We just got another one?
Twins.
second potato drop?
Oh,
Oh, man.
What is happening?
Thank you,
Potato.
Twinsen.
I
Thanks,
switched my
Twins.
screen really quick and I
Yeah.
saw it.
Yes, thank you, Twins N. We also have some love from folks. Wendigo Bob, Lazy Pixie, Locomotive 1134, Follower of Fahima, Hornist 34, Goofus McDorkle.
Yeah.
Always my favorite. Always good to start the
One
show
of
with
our
the Goofus
favorites.
McDorkle.
Yep.
J Freak, an old brownie, Vegan Dracolich, and others. Thank you all for the balloons to start the show. We appreciate you. We appreciate that. It feels like applause and makes us excited to get started.
Jeff,
And yes.
Jeff, can I do a quick shout out to JD Illustrates, who did
Yes.
the amazing watercolor? Is that a Baojai? It's a
It is
Baojai.
a Baojai, yes.
It's
So
insanely
cool.
good. Yeah.
It's on
Incredible.
Discord if you want to check it out.
Yeah.
Thank you, JD.
Thank
Yes, JD illustrates one of the first. He did all of your profile pictures too. That'll come
Yes,
up
he did.
during the course
Yep,
of the show.
Jason.
Another
All right.
potato.
Wow, another potato. Cold candor dressed up
Listen.
potato.
And the
Cold
Raven
candor?
Queen.
Oh, my
gosh.
Everybody.
Potatoes, just potatoes. We're never
All
gonna
right,
get off.
let's get into the show. We are once again in that enviable position of having a split party. So we'll switch back and forth between two sites. We'll start where we ended last week on the beach. With James and Civ and Baojai and Chomel. As we faded to black last week, James had conjured his steed, his phantom steed, which is a swirl of bluish smoke, and introduced it to the young Chomel, who is pretty taken with that creation and is amused and cautiously interacting with the steed that James has instructed to entertain him. So that's where we find ourselves.
I'll be certain to keep the steed very Nightfall. I'll be certain to keep Nightfall Blucifer to keep him very passive, and so because I'm keeping a close eye on Baojai. Does she still seem pretty manic?
Yes. She seems not right. She seems very, very distracted and jittery. She seems really in a agitated state, kind of keeping to herself, watching her son interact with the horse, the phantom horse. She at first, as he reached out to this beautiful steed, as it swirled and conjured, not unlike a ghost. I think she stepped forward and was quite apprehensive, but as you indicated, and as the horse itself bowed its head and seemed non-threatening, she's allowed him to start interacting with it, and he's reached his hand out and put his hand on this beautiful blue smoky exterior of the steed, and it seems to be enamored with it.
Yes. Go on. Yes. Yeah. And I'll basically be. I'm trying to be a calming presence as best I can, and basically, I think this is trying to cheer the boy up in as much as weird as this ghostly horse is. Yeah.
Right.
That's kind of what I'm trying to make happen.
Does he still have the crustacean hammer that Uggo gave him?
I guess he would. Yes.
Chomel,
Yes.
do you mind if I see that for a moment?
Oh,
I'll give it right back.
Sure. And he hands you this tiny little hammer that's used to bust open crabs inside a restaurant that Uggo had taken and given to him.
I'm gonna put away my giant kitchen knife and pull out one of my smaller carving knives, and I'm gonna carve something in the side of it.
Okay. So that takes a
Madam
second.
Madame Baljai, I'm sorry, I don't mean to bring up any more disturbing subjects, but could I ask, when is it that you realized that Ostrom was going to betray you? That he was a traitor?
It was as we sailed here. He promised he would protect us, and
Yes.
we were very close. I could see the island from the boat, and I could see the look in his eye as he looked at us, askance, plotting, scheming. It all became clear to me. I knew it. I don't know how I could have been blind for so long.
He's gone now. He's gone now. You're safe. You're very safe. Right? Very safe. Did you happen to see a ghost ship on your way here?
I
It's
closed
very
my eyes
odd.
for much of the,
Okay.
and so did Chomel. I tried to
Good.
block everything out, but it was awful. All of it was awful. I don't know how long we've
I
even
know.
been here. It is.
We experienced something very similar. It was very awful, but you're very strong to have made it through, and you protected your son.
I must always protect him.
I'll awaken mine to Civ. I think the fog of madness that we passed through has had a really lasting effect on her.
I nod.
I could be wrong. I mean, she's gone through a lot. It's just a hunch.
Well, hopefully, and I'm saying this aloud because I have to. Hopefully, if we can get them off this dreadful island, they'll
Yes.
get a bit better.
Yes.
I do have something, and I'm saying this relatively quietly to you.
Yeah, we'll step aside.
I do have something that I think we need to discuss just in case it takes them a while to get back. And that's what we're going to do if the demon returns while we're still here.
All
I
right.
assume that's why you created your steed.
Yes, and genuinely, I wanted to please the boy, I guess. Yes. Yes, it'll be here for an hour.
How
After
how
that, it'll
fast
take
can it
another 10
go?
minutes. Very, 100.
Quicker
feet.
than the demon can fly?
I don't know, about as much, probably, maybe faster. Yeah, 100 feet of running speed. Yeah, I think so. I saw that, Jeff. If I saw the demon take off after Civ, it didn't feel like it was moving at 100 feet flying speed.
No, I mean, of course, you wouldn't know if it was
Right,
going as
but
fast
yes.
as it could, but it certainly seemed to be going as fast as it could. You know, it seemed to be intent
Yes.
on reaching Civ and Chomel. So, I mean, maybe a safe assumption.
The biggest issue is that it can't take any damage. If it gets hit at all, it dissipates.
Right. I was thinking perhaps you could take Baojai and Chomel on your steed and I could try to slow it down some.
I'm not sure it could take all three of us. Maybe it could. And we couldn't, and we were certainly not going to be able to separate them. She won't stand for that. I think that's pretty obvious.
Do you want to give it a try? Do you want to see if you can all get on top of the horse?
Sure. Yeah, let's try.
As you guys are talking, you see from the corner of your eye, Baojai start to look out into the water as you're standing there on the beach. The water, by the way, dark, is clearly night. When you got here, it was dark, but it seems that the darkness has taken on a new element, most notably because the illumination of the castle has ceased. The castle was this brilliant, bright, glowing green thing.
Are the trees still glowing as well, or is that all gone?
All of the glow has sort of dissipated.
Okay.
And so it's much darker now on the beach. And seems to be this standing mist out in the water. In fact, when Ugo and the team rowed off, you saw them take a few strokes in the water and then sort of disappear into a fog. It's quite thick and low. You can see the night sky, but there's this like low hanging fog over the water. And as you notice, she's sort of looking out there and takes a few steps and starts wading into the water. Ankles, knees, waist.
Madam, is everything all right?
She doesn't answer, but as you call out to her, you see hovering out in the water ahead of her, the lady of the house. That same phantom that you had seen just enter the house and cause that transformation. She is now a much different look to her, where her hair was wild, her eyes were wild, and she had this menace about her. Now everything is sort of relaxed. Her hair drapes down over her shoulders. Her dress falls softly against her skin. It is still a phantom. It is still translucent. It is still clearly a ghost, but she is different. She hovers there over the water as Baojai walks out to her, and she's sort of waist deep at this point.
I'll point to Civ, mind the boy, and I will start walking out, following Baojai. Keep away, please, just be careful.
And she turns back to you and looks with this sort of crazed Baojai I'm talking about, this sort of crazed, manic, glassy-eyed look. And then she turns back to the lady and reaches her hand out.
No. Please.
You see the ghost again, as you saw earlier, move into the same physical location as Baojai. And Baojai, again, her head falls down.
Okay.
Her eyes come up. And she speaks, turning to you.
Why have you returned?
My son is returned.
Yes.
And we may finally be at peace.
I'm glad.
This cursed castle falls into oblivion.
Yes.
But the Lord of Crows still flies. And you've said Jasmine still lives.
He does.
They are not alone. The Lord of Crows searches for noble blood, draws it to him. My son was not enough, and I can no longer stand in his way.
Will it return for Chomel?
I do not know, but I am afeared. Know this. The very rock upon which you stand was displaced. Where once this castle stood, before this ground was moved, that spot is unwell.
That was
There is
connected to the rest of the island. Yes?
It is no longer. It is empty water now. Perhaps you sailed over it.
We did.
There is a great wrongness. It injected this place, and madness resides there. I cannot explain it, but I know it is the cause of all this. That spot is broken. If you value your sanity, Do not sail through it again. Do not follow the path of the lighthouse. For all that you've done for me and my son, I give this advice. Sail away from the light.
Thank you. Thank you. And please, find rest.
And she, Baozhai, head comes up. She looks down, kind of surprised that she's in the water. And
yeah, I'll approach her and to try to take her hands. Please, come out of the water. Come on.
Why? Where's my son? And she looks.
He's over here. It's fine. It's fine. You're fine.
And Civ, you notice during all of this,
Yeah.
as soon as Baozhai comes out of it and you see James attempting to help her out of the water and back to the beach, you see the flasks on both your hips glow.
I don't have my flask.
Oh, excuse me, the flask on Morgan or James's hip.
James,
Yes.
I point at your hip.
Odd. Okay.
I
And
think I
I'll
need to
finish. I'll finish.
sit down.
Please, please.
Sit down.
Yes.
She finds a place on that black, jagged, rocky shore. It's very much, I called it a beach. It's very much not a beach. It is, I mean, it's the dictionary definition of a beach, but it is jagged and rocky and kind of unwelcoming. She sits down, her dress draped, elegant silks, draped, dirty, wet at the bottom. She sits down.
I'm going to walk over with Chomel and have him sit down next to her. And then I'll take off my red headscarf and wrap it around her shoulders.
She flinches from the contact, but then looks at you and pulls it tight around her. And you feel, even as you release the red scarf, you feel her hand shake, a shiver running through her body.
Try to stay warm, my dear. I don't know how long we're going to be here. And we can't afford to build a fire.
And you see Chomel turn to his mother and say, "Can I play some more with the horse?"
I would like it if you...
No, please, Civ. I'm sorry. Yes.
It's fine. I'll sit with her and you can watch the boy.
Well, hang on. Let me and I'll point down to my flask. Let me see what this is about.
I nod.
Okay. By the way, Jeff, it hasn't been an hour, has it?
Since you conjured the steed?
No, it hasn't. Well, I mean, yeah, but it was that we've been here on the beach.
No.
Okay, cool. Trying to get that short rest.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. No, it has not been an hour. No.
Okay. All right. Then I will sort of turn back towards the water, pulling out the flask one more time.
All right.
Here we go. And take another sip.
So your Constitution save, you have advantage from Pytyrus Stormblade.
Thank you, Pytyrus. Not great. 12.
That saves. Just to be 10.
Cool. Great.
So roll your d6 and take half the damage.
I got a 5, so 2 points of damage.
So you once again muscle down this awful beverage, and it burns your throat, it burns your esophagus going down. It's awful. And as you stand there sort of trying to hide your, with your back to the rest of the group, kind of not having Baozhai and Chomel see what you're doing, you're kind of looking up the beach. And again, that vision, that familiar greenish hue over everything, even though the ground itself no longer has it, even though the ruins before you of this castle no longer have it. Somehow, by drinking the liquor of the dead, that castle is reconstituted in your vision. You see it again, younger, more solid. And you see up the beach, far up the beach, this figure walking down it toward you. It's Jaspin. and he is dragging 2 bodies behind him, slowly, just sort of pulling them down the beach, just walking with
I'll take a few steps to try and see if I can see the bodies, or depending on how far away he is, if he's coming our direction.
He's
I'll
coming
wait.
right towards you, heading down toward the beach, coming from the castle out ahead of you, walking down, dragging these 2 bodies. And it looks to you like the bodies are one a man and one a woman, each dressed formally, and their clothes are dirty, being dragged across the ground. But even in that condition, as they get closer and closer and closer to you, you, James, because you had witnessed that earlier vision, recognize them as 2 of the people who were seated at the dining room table.
Right.
In the dining room vision. 2 of the people who drank the toast.
Yes.
And as Jaspin continues to drag the bodies across the dirt, he periodically stops to pull out his flask out of his doublet, take a sip. And he's muttering to himself the whole time.
Laziness will not be tolerated when we get to court. There's much to be done. No, I won't hear any of that. You are lucky I chose you. I could have had anyone. The old ones allow me to build my court. Oh, stop! I am being as courteous to you as you deserve. You will treat me with respect, Sir Otterpop.
And behind him, the flames of the castle rising, the smoke billowing out, the entire structure burning. And he makes his way, walking slowly, holding onto a leg of each of these bodies, pulling them laboriously, dragging them through dirt and rock. He makes his way down to the edge of the beach where there is this small vessel there, this small boat. Not unlike the boat that you saw there. It's not the same one that you saw when you arrived, but it's a similar size, sort of a personal watercraft.
Than the one that Ostrom and the
Correct.
family.
Yes.
Okay.
Not the exact same one, but a similar one.
Right.
And he laboriously loads the corpses into that boat, pushes it out into the water. And as he gets out in the water and picks up an oar and starts rowing into the darkness, into the water, this shimmering, ghostly vision, this apparition in your mind, you hear him say,
You are right, Lady Jungle. We will need more, lots more, to maintain our supply. But fear not, a plan is already in place.
And he fades, and the vision fades. And you're left standing there again, ruins behind you, darkness all around you, no green, no illumination. You hear Civ and the 2 refugees on the beach talking.
Civ, we can't leave this place without going back to that lighthouse.
What lighthouse?
The one that Lily and I went to where we got the liquor, where Jaspin is to this day.
Oh, right. Where you fought the plat.
The plant, the odd plant thing. But I just saw another vision of Jaspin and the 2 dead bodies that he spoke to in his court. He got them from the dinner party, it seems. It explains the very intense state of decay they were in when I saw them. They're over 20 years old, apparently. No, even longer. Gosh.
Did you even have the slightest hint that he was behind all of this when you spoke to him in the lighthouse?
None. He spoke of the island of where we are, of the castle, very passingly, as if he knew of it. He expected it to kill us, which is why he wanted to make the deal for our corpses. But no, he seemed, I'll be honest, he seemed insane, but mostly harmless, because he was, I mean, you don't expect that guy to be a mass murderer.
Right, but I think that's his secret or his special power, so to speak, is that you think of him as being harmless and he's not.
He spoke of, again, that the old ones want a granting him or recognizing his nobility or something.
Perhaps that's the demon. The demon might have promised him something.
Or the demon's superiors.
Right.
And on that note, we're going to switch over to our other team who is still rowing. Uggo single-handedly muscling this rowboat through the waters. Whitebeard sitting toward the bow, feeling very proud of himself and looking out, trying to spot the tardy plunder out in the water. It's not that far away from where from the beach, but this thick fog, this thick mist makes it even a challenge to find it.
I'm just gonna keep rowing until somebody tells me which direction to go. So
We're going to the ship,
I can't see
right?
nothing here. I assumed I'm not gonna row all the way back to the lighthouse unless you want to help me.
I mean, I'm happy to help you, but quite frankly, the boat's going to go in circles if I have one oar and you have the other one.
Oh, I was saying you do both oars, but then I just realized that your arms are too short.
I can't
so
reach
probably
that
won't
far.
work. Yeah. I just realized that.
I could try.
Look, I think of you as an equal. So
Thank you.
yeah.
I think of you as an equal too.
Well, that's new
Wait, what?
for me.
Oh.
I always thought I was lesser than you.
Well, I think we often think that about ourselves sometimes. Right?
Well, but you told me that when I killed that halfling,
That what?
that I'm lesser than you.
Oh, I didn't say that. Is that
Really?
what I said?
I don't remember the exact words you said, but I felt lesser than you.
Oh. Well, feeling one way.
What halfling did you kill?
The one in the fight.
He
can roll an insight check on that.
Oh boy.
Rolled a 2.
Quick save.
I'll go and I sometimes.
Wait, I have advantage from Calcaneus. Hang on.
Oh no!
Roll your deception.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah, roll your deception. I got a 10.
Do I have advantage or not?
You have advantage from Corn Unicorn.
Thank you, Corn Unicorn.
I also want to say the potatoes are insane. Dresden Dark with 2, D-Run Discord with 3, Grim Faded with 1.
Dang.
Wow.
Twinsin has a potato for Heather and Leah, the music element of our show, who very much deserve it. Thank you
They deserve a
for
full
acknowledging
farm.
them. Yes,
They deserve so many potatoes.
indeed. Sorry, go ahead, Uggo.
18 was my deception.
Yes. So Whitebeard is confused. And he kind of turns back and looks out the bow and, continues looking, but he was just, his interest was piqued. Remember, you're in a very small rowboat having this conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, Choran is there, Fahim is there.
So I'm thinking that we might encounter the demon when we get to the ship. Are we all in okay health and everything else to combat him?
Do you see it?
No, but he flew out over the water, so it's entirely possible that he's waiting for us.
It's true. Quite frankly, he could be right above us. I don't think we can see that far at all.
Hey! Lord of Crows, come here! I'll take you now if you want to fight me. Come on.
No,
I'll beat you with this rope stick.
I would rather not fight on the water in a tiny boat.
Well, I just drowned him.
But you risk all of our lives doing that.
No, I drowned him. You guys stay on boat.
But what if he counters?
How does one counter drowning?
Well, he's very strong. What if he tries to drown you? It's a classic I'm trying to drown you, you're trying to drown me situation.
I would say that I'm stronger than him, but that wicker thing that I hurt was pretty strong.
Yeah.
Or could you please keep rowing?
I can talk and row at the same time.
Well, it doesn't seem like you're doing a very good job of both.
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying I don't have lots of energy left
I don't
myself.
I can get angry, but it's not gonna do good.
All right. Well, perhaps we have to row back.
What do you mean we? I'm the only one rowing.
Do you want me to row for
The
a bit?
collective we.
No, I feel very good rowing. I
okay.
would just, yeah.
Most people
And
like
are you-
push-ups, right?
Are you? Yeah. Oh yeah. Are you gonna come back with me, Fahima? I thought I was just gonna row back and get to myself, but I guess you could come with me.
I would rather not have someone go by themselves, so I can.
Okay. I like it. I like that
We're
idea.
kind of in a bad situation here, splitting the party even further, but you alone on the boat, we'll never know. We can't see them anymore. We can't see the ship.
Oh.
It's true. Whitebeard, about how far away do you think we are?
I think I hear something. And as you perk up and listen, there are definite shouts that you're hearing. The fog is thick in front of you, and all you've heard so far is sort of the slap of the rows entering the water and the boat itself cutting through this not very rough sea, and Ugo yelling at the top of his lungs. But now you hear on the wind, you hear some shouting, clear shouting from voices. And
Does it sound in distress?
it certainly sounds agitated. It sounds
Oh no.
yeah, there seems to be calls and instruction and that kind of like urgency. And Whitebeard turns back to you, Ugo, and goes, row.
Okay. I'm gonna attempt to row faster, I guess.
All right, so as you kind of break through this mist and you see much closer than you would have ever expected it to be, because you should have seen it by now, but it is just such thick pea soup, you know? You see the large tardy plunder there, and it looks like, even from your low position in the water looking up at it, it looks like the masts have taken damage. There are people, there are crew members. Again, it was a skeleton crew that you used, very few people. So there are a couple of the pirates up there actively trying to bang things into place and take things off. There's bits of the sail that are torn and shredded, and you hear over everything Loudmouth's voice yelling at everyone. It's unmistakable, and Whitebeard instructs you to pull the rowboat up to the side, and he yells up, and you see Loudmouth's head come out over the side, and he goes, they're back, and he points at someone, and those hooks come down, those hooks on ropes come down to attach to the rowboat.
Hook it up, right?
Yeah, Whitebeard clearly is looking to you guys to do this.
You can do this part, Ugo.
Okay. Well, do we want to haul the boat all the way back up the boat? I gotta go back and get people.
Well, I think it's the easiest way for us to get up there.
Oh, well, we can get a ladder. Loudmouth, ladder. And a rope ladder, after a few moments, comes tumbling down, rolling down, and it kind of hits the wood of the boat.
Ugo, Fahima, you're going back, both of you?
Will there be enough room if I go back? For everyone else? I don't know if there will be.
Lady, James, Civ, you, Ugo.
I mean, considering one of them's a
I don't know.
5-year-old, it could be possible. Perhaps you might assume that a 5-year-old wouldn't be a full person, but basically 5 is 5. I mean, you came over with 6. No, you came over with
7.
So yeah, you could probably do it.
All right. Well, I'll go. I can go with you, or perhaps Meep could go with you.
I'll let you decide.
All right. Lily, would you be okay if I went back with Ugo?
I'll be all right.
Okay.
I'll hang out with the crew. But be safe, and send Meep.
I will.
Send Meep if you have anything that you need.
Yes. If Meep comes back to you, there's trouble.
Okay. Well, that's scary. And then I'll give them both bardic inspiration as they sail up.
Emma, you inspire me.
Well, you inspire me too, both of you.
I feel like singing all of a sudden.
Do it. Well, maybe quietly so the Lord of Crows doesn't hear you.
I don't want to stop you if you're going to sing.
Oh no, I was actually casting my eyes to the sky to be like, oh shoot, right, we're looking for a demon in the sky.
I thought song had taken your soul for a moment. You see Whitebeard scamper up the ladder and get to the top, and his voice starts shouting up there too. Lily, I guess you're the only one that is continuing up onto the boat.
Well, isn't
And Choran, of course.
Choran?
Yes. Yeah. He, he's going up. He'll go between Whitebeard and you, so he goes up as well and stands on the boat. And immediately, sort of stands on the side, looking back toward the island. It's not easy to see it. It's impossible, in fact, to see it from here through all that mist. But he's standing, sort of just anxious and waiting to see if he can see anything. And you arrive on the deck, and immediately as you get up there, you see Loudmouth and Whitebeard talking back and forth quite excitedly. Loudmouth, we were waiting for you, sir. We were, all of us. I was talking to the boys, and I was trying to make sure everyone was entertained with me stories. Just trying to calm the group down. Get to it, Loudmouth. Right. And of course, we were waiting, watching. See, we were watching the island, right? And as we saw it, we saw all of a sudden that green light just went out, and we figured that could either be a very good thing or a very bad thing. Because
as this is happening, Lily's slowly walking up with her arms crossed, like agreeing, like just trying to like join their conversation circle.
Yeah, and they pay you no mind. I mean, you're 3 feet tall, just kind of walking between them. We just, sometimes those things are a good omen, and sometimes they're a bad omen. Sometimes it's and get to it, Loudmouth. Right. Well, and then of course, as we waited and watched, sir, we of course, we were hoping for your just get to it. Out of the mist emerged, I don't know how to explain it, sir. Lots of birds, see? It was birds of all kinds. It was black wings upon everything, just pummeling the sails and the masts, and they were all over us and all around us. I've never seen anything like it, sir. Well, that's not true. I've actually seen something like it. Was one time we sailed through bats, but that was much more of a guano problem than anything else. But, it was very unlike anything I've ever seen. All right. Oh, we gotta get out of here. Let's start fixing things. So, Lily, what would you like to do?
I will. I guess I'll.
He points to you. Whitebeard points to you, and he goes, "Get that man back in his cage."
Yeah. And I'll do that. And I'll take him over there, and I probably was gonna say is I'm gonna go find him like some water and some food, and because I think he's still pretty hurt. Yeah.
Choran, yes, definitely, yes.
Yeah.
So he has entrusted you to sort of return. There's a cage on the front of the ship at the bow on the deck. That is where Choran had been kept, and so he's sort of entrusted you to return him to that spot.
Okay, I'll take Choran over there, and then Choran.
Yes.
I'm gonna put you in here, but I'm gonna get you some food and some bandages and some water and.
Don't worry about me. Worry about my family. They intend to put us all in this cage.
I don't know. We're gonna figure all of that out. But the only thing that we can do right now is focus on getting you healthier. So when they're here, you can help protect them.
Okay.
Okay. So
Thank you. Thank you.
Try and rest as much as you can, and I'll be back. And I'll give him my water flask, whatever I have left of that, and like rations that I have, and I'll go try and find bandages and first aid. I'm guessing down below.
Yeah. Okay. Meanwhile, Ugo and Fahima are still in the boat. You tend to just sort of take off and head back the direction you came.
Yeah, I mean, Ugo's sense of, I have survival, so I imagine his sense of direction is pretty good. But yeah, I want to try to make sure that we're going. You said that fog is thick, and I don't want to get lost. So
right.
I want to try to use the ship as a way to determine which direction is the beach.
Okay. So can you roll me a survival check?
Survival, yeah.
Yeah, I have advantage from J Freak, countered by Grim Fated.
Okay. Dirty 20.
Nice.
So yeah, you kind of it's a strange thing. The fog is thick but low hanging. It's sort of just settled on the water, and you can kind of see above to the night sky, and you manage to make a reference point in the sky with a star and kind of triangulate it with where your back is to the ship, and you sort of figure out you can line yourself up. If you just go straight into that direction, you'll head straight back the way you came. But it is a very disorienting process of, 1, 2, 3 strokes of the oars, and all of a sudden the boat is out of your vision. It's crazy. You're sort of surrounded by this thick mist, and it's just you and Fahima in the boat together. Even sound seems to be a bit dampened.
Fahima, I don't know much about spells, but do you have one that can clear this fog?
Well, if it's natural fog, I could try something that involves fire, but I don't think I have anything. I'll cast. I'll just produce flame.
Okay.
And see if that kind of like burns off some of the fog.
All right, you stand up in the boat and you conjure flame in your hand, and you extend it out, standing there on the boat as Uggo rows, and you see, definitely there's this glimmer of illumination that parts a bit of the fog, but you still can't see very far out ahead of you. But it is as if someone lit a lantern at the head of this rowboat. So you do get some more illumination than you would, some more visibility than you would have otherwise.
I think Meep can naturally breathe fire, so I'm just gonna double check on that, but I'll send her ahead and see if she can't clear us like a little path of visibility at least,
Yeah.
Stretch
So
her
you're-
wings a little bit.
Yeah, your phoenix, who sort of looks like a parrot right now back in time, takes off, comes out from underneath where she had been sequestered, and unfurls her wings and flaps out into that mist. And it's wild. You would normally see this, bright, brilliant fire of the bird itself, but now you kind of don't see her that way. But as soon as her mouth opens and the fire emits from it, you see she sort of disappears into the fog for a second, and then brilliant, bright orange glow reflecting off the mist around, and sort of you can see forward, and much further along it is this periodic bursts.
Oh, wow.
Fahima,
Brilliant sight.
is that so?
I love her.
Is that her or is that you?
That's her. Yeah, she can breathe fire.
How does this stuff? How does magic work? How do you learn spell? Where do you get spells from? Do you just make them up and then they happen?
Well, for me at least, I study them and sort of the science of how it works. But I know Lily
Mama
sort
talk
of...
about science.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, she have different spells than you. Not a lot of fire, lots of healing and things that make me feel weird.
Feel weird how?
Well, manipulating of emotional energy.
Oh.
So, like, calm me when I get super angry.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, at first it was not, and then I realized what she was trying to help me with, and then I started to understand.
Huh.
But she told me you have to be able to read in order to cast spell.
I don't know that that's necessarily true. I mean, perhaps for some people, but I imagine if James hadn't known how to read and he, made a deal with Squalash, then maybe I shouldn't say said his name out loud.
Yeah, I'll go kind of looks around.
Feel a bit weird about that.
Yeah.
I do believe that he would have been able to cast spells. And Lily, perhaps she was born knowing how to do magic.
I find that my usefulness as we travel together is pretty limited to one thing, and I'm feeling. Word is weak. No, bad word. I don't want to say useless either, but specific.
Suboptimal?
Yes. What does suboptimal mean?
Just that you perhaps have an idea of your most the best you can be, and you feel that you're a bit below what that might be.
Yeah, so I have to be close to everybody, and it's a good thing I can run really fast, but sometimes I feel like just now when Civ ran so far away and the demon was so far away, I could do nothing, and I felt useless. And
Well, first of all, I have to say you're not useless at all, and
thank you.
I'm nothing without you, right? You protect me, and I can't do my job unless you do yours. And, you know, I'm quite squishy, so as soon as I go down, I can't do anything else, whereas you can stay standing for a lot longer. And, but I understand, right? Because I love learning about magic, so
Yeah.
I get it. Have you thought about perhaps praying to the Candle Queen? You know, we've heard
I
of
think
pacts with celestial beings or gods, or even making a vow to a god, and
yeah, I have tried while we were on boat, and she no answer. It's as if I don't feel she is around. I don't feel her presence like I do when we were in real time, fake time. I don't know what's real anymore sometimes.
the old times, yeah. Well, truth be told, the magic that certain people have, like clerics or knights, paladins, it baffles me. I don't know why the gods choose them, or why a promise or a vow gives you magic, access to magic, but
Well, I feel very strongly about you and Lily and James and Civ, and I know that my anger is self-contained, but sometimes I feel like if you four were not around, I would not be able to manifest ancestors or rage even. It is as if my family being around has given me power. So I can understand when Dondo say you make oath and therefore you are gifted with things that help you keep oath, but Mama was not like Dondo. She was not good with martial and melee. She was very good with magic and distance.
I think you can have both. And perhaps
I had not thought of that.
Perhaps it's just a matter of you need to keep that promise, keep the vow, and prove that through anything, through any challenge, through any timeline, you keep your promise to be good and to save your friends and to uphold light and truth. It's not going to come easy necessarily. To some people it does, and some people are born with it, but others, it's a lot of hard work.
Just being alive is hard work.
We found that out the hard way. Yeah. But I'll go. Whenever you feel that you've waited long enough and perhaps the Candle Queen isn't answering your prayers for access to whatever the magical weave is, I'm more than happy to help you learn spells the hard way.
I would hug you, but I am rowing.
I'll come up and I'll hug him.
While on the beach, Civ and James are still sort of a bit separated. Well, from Chomel and Baja.
I'll go over to Chomel. Kind of, still play, still having nightfall, basically lay near him or trot around him or do whatever, if he's having fun with it. Hey,
you see him very much intrigued by the horse and giggling a bit.
Chomel,
yes, it's time to be done. I'm sorry.
No. He can stay a little longer. It's fine. He obviously likes you quite a bit. It's fine. I had a question though.
For me?
Yes, for you. When Wingersticks spoke to you, it was in a dream, you said?
No, he spoke to me all the time. I just have to hold him, but I don't understand what happened. I don't have him anymore, and it confuses me.
Okay, all right. When did he speak to you the first time?
I don't know. Right after I got him.
Okay. The dreams that you had that told that said to come here, that you and you. Yes. So that wasn't Wingersticks. That was another voice.
I just was a feeling like it was my destiny as a leader.
Okay. What did Wingersticks sound like when he talked to you?
Friendly.
Good. Okay. And you were told to come here because that it would be a safe place for you and your mother.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Can I play more with the horsey now?
Of course. Yes, please. Yes. And, yeah. Whatever you like.
Sorry. Are you good?
I'm good.
How's Baljai doing?
She's still sort of in this strange state. She's shivering and uncomfortable, and she keeps looking up at the water, hoping that she'll see the rowboat come back. She glances back at the castle, and there's this sense of just being uncomfortable.
How long has it been?
I mean, for what?
On the run.
Too long.
A year? 2 years?
Close to it. We could hide for a while, but they found us. They found out. Of course
How?
they would found out. I don't know. They have fingers everywhere.
The boy seems to be doing rather well, considering. You know he loves you very much.
And
That's
him.
the only reason why we're here.
Are you talking about Chomel or Joran?
I think you know who I'm speaking of. I tried very hard to convince him otherwise, and he did not give up.
He has made a lot of promises. It is nice to know he can keep at least one.
Well, coming from someone who's made a lot of promises and kept very few, I have to say I respect your husband in that regard. Why is it that you're so angry with him? Is it because you think he left you, abandoned you in some way?
I have no one now. But these two. And sometimes it feels like I don't even have both of them.
I know what it's like to be alone. It's horrible. Tears you apart. You don't have anyone to rely on. You don't have anyone to speak to when you're not feeling well. No one to hold your hand? To tell you that I love you? To bring you soup when you're not feeling well?
Soup. I stood in a room with my son and a ghost, holding my breath, unsure if we would be discovered, wishing my beloved had kept a promise. It will take a lot to forgive him.
Well, perhaps you just need some time.
Perhaps. I just hope we have time.
What did you think you were going to do? You knew they were going to discover you. Where did you think you were going to go?
What choice did we have? We ran, and Joran said he had a plan. He said to trust him. And then he sent us off with Ostrom, who also said to trust him. And I think he was working for my sister and...
Breathe. Breathe. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're not out of this fog. And you're going to need to be very strong for your son.
You have not yet seen my strength.
Good. Good.
And I will not stand for you to doubt it. You are in the presence of royalty. However, unrecognized it is these days. Sorry, as that's about happening, you see this rowboat emerge out of the fog.
Can I be whittling while we're having this conversation? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely legit.
Okay. I'm going to go back over to, when I see the boat coming in, I'm going to pop up and go back over to Chomel and hand him the mallet back.
One orc row, two orcs row, I'll go rowing all day long.
Phoenix
Chomel,
in
look.
front, blowing fire, paving a way for us to row.
That
One
bardic
orc
inspiration is no joke, man.
Go, meep, go, blow the fire, go.
Yeah, as Chomel receives it, what can you want to tell me what you have whittled on it?
I carved Uggo the Brave on the side of the mallet.
Oh.
Want to thank some folks giving us balloons right about now. Funky G Macman, Joral's Fluffy Pants, The Raven Queen, Fall Star, Scoundrel Lovejoy, JT Justice, Vain Dead, Fixer 314, Ari Rose, and others. Thank you so much for those balloons. We appreciate them. We are grateful. So the song, the jaunty rowing song of the two breaks through the fog as you see the bow. Then you see this fiery bird breath come through. You see the bow, and you see Fahima standing proudly on the front as Uggo rows.
She's the queen of the world.
And the boat beaches, comes up, and Chomel immediately leaps up and is playing with the horse. And he says, "Is the horsey gonna go away now?"
Yes. Say goodbye. He can come back later, maybe. But say goodbye. He's going to run off for now.
Wait.
Okay.
And he reaches out. Her name, his name, what's the name?
His name is Nightfall. Yes.
Nightfall.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And I'll have Nightfall give him a nod. And then I will send. I don't want to dissipate him in front of the kid.
He was never real.
It runs out to a farm upstate.
Yeah,
It was all a
exactly.
lie.
Just he's went up to that farm, so I will literally have him run off in the to the
He
horizon.
disappears in a ball of hellfire.
That's amazing. Bye, horsey. Brr, 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 just like peels out and leaves. That's great.
I turn back to Ugo and Fahima and just kind of give a shrug.
I'm
All
going
right, is
to-
everybody ready?
I'm gonna
Everyone
give,
aboard.
Sure. I'm gonna give Baojai my hand, Your Highness.
Thank you.
Oh.
And she takes your hand and she lifts her, still wet gown in her other hand and steps gingerly into the beached rowboat and sits down.
I'm gonna
Help.
actually pick her up so that she doesn't have to get herself wet to get into the boat.
Okay. And she reaches out for Chomel and he kind of scampers over and takes a running leap and lands in the boat next to her. And she looks at him with a stern look, and then he sits.
We are very happy to see both of you. Thank you.
Indeed. Yes. Yeah, we spent an interesting time here while we were gone, shall we? Yes.
The boat was attacked.
Oh, by what?
It's a good question.
Huh. We got a visit from the lady of the house again.
Oh, really?
Well, she's not a lady of the house anymore, right?
Indeed,
she
the lady
say?
of the former lady of the former house. She said a bit. Yes, she
She likes to talk, that one.
She does. Yeah, let's get going, shall we? And
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
tell us
get
the
in.
boat.
I'm gonna get in
Yeah.
next to Ugo and grab one of the oars.
Excuse you.
Do you really want to do it all by yourself again?
Well, do you want to save the little kid all by yourself? You already did. Was
Just
the
go
point.
with the logic. Just go with the
All right.
logic.
Oh, right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sure.
I got one job. I'm gonna do it.
You have many jobs.
Yeah, it's mostly rowing though.
Okay.
That's all I've ever seen Ugo do is row, honestly.
Yes,
Entire time
seriously.
I've
Well,
known him.
I'm either rowing an oar or rowing a hammer against someone's face. It's just
When you
rowing.
put it like that, that makes a world of sense. But I'll fill in everybody about our visit from the lady of the house and of the vision of Jaspin.
As you guys kind of take off and you're complaining about not having one job, you see this little half Triton, half Dragonborn boy holding a mallet, and he looks up at you and he goes, "Are you Ugo?"
Yes, I am Ugo, and you are Chomel.
Yes. You're brave.
Well, thank you. No one has ever called Ugo brave before.
This does.
How'd that get there?
Does it look like Civ's whittle handwriting?
Whittle writing.
Would we
writing.
know?
I know
Very
that whittle anywhere.
distinctive.
Ah,
pretty
yes, clearly
famous.
Civ.
Make an insight check on the hammer.
Anyway, it's just a small moment where he kind of goes back to looking at it, looking back out at the water and the mist going by.
Chomel,
Yes.
remember that name. That's all. Just remember the name Ugo. Somehow I feel like we will meet again.
We're meeting right now. Are you leaving?
Well, no, well, I meant when. Yes,
Soon.
soon.
One
So-
other thing, by the way, is the lady of the house told us, yes, to absolutely not go back in the direction of the ghost ship.
How
Is
are we
there-
going?
It's
How are we
good
going-
news to
Way
me.
Right. How are
don't
we
know.
going to convince Whitebeard that there's another way to sail?
It's a good question. I don't know, but I
Is
mean,
there
I think
is there another way to go around?
yeah, Jeff, were we able to tell on the approach or from our maps? You know, like what sailing away from the lighthouse actually means?
Well, you know, this as I described it, the lighthouse beam sort of created this
Right.
pathway along the water.
Right.
So one would assume sailing any other direction would be, you
Right.
know, away from the
Okay.
light. So
Got it.
So as long as we sail in a roundabout way to get back, we should be fine.
Yes.
Wait, why can't we? Isn't that what lighthouses are for?
That
You
particular
row towards them
lighthouse-
so you know where you're going.
It's possible that whatever power seems to possess that area where the ghost ship is maybe tied to Jaspin and the lighthouse. I don't know.
But I'm confused.
Well, it's
like,
possible-
if there's at one
I
place.
mean, I don't have an excellent
can-
explanation.
you
I'm
can
just
only
going off
go-
what the lady told us.
Mm,
Yes.
okay.
I want to just bend down to Chomel and say to him, I'll sit next to him since it's a small boat. Chomel,
yes, and you see Baojai put her hand on his shoulder. Yes.
so I understand that the Lord of Crows has been talking to you and saying certain things.
I don't know about that. My
Winger sticks.
Winger sticks, right? Winger sticks.
Yes.
I just want to tell you, trust your mom and dad when they tell you the difference between right and wrong, okay?
Baojai looks at him and nods approvingly and looks at you, and she's still kind of in this agitated state, but it's clear that she appreciates you saying that.
I know it's not always easy to do what your mom says or your dad says. It can seem like they're punishing you or, you know, taking out the fun, but look at me. Look at my bird. Look at this. And I create a little bit of fire. All of this came from learning from my dad and doing as he said. All right? And power isn't everything. Being good to other people is everything.
Power is a lot of things, though. Just want to make
Being
that
good
point.
to people. Being good to people is power.
Yes,
as well.
yes.
Thank you.
And
Thank you,
yeah,
James.
yeah.
Yes. No problem. Excellent. Easy to
Be excellent to each other.
and party on, dude.
What is going on?
Where that came from, sorry.
Baojai looks at you, Fahima, after that, and looks at Ago, and she says, "Who are you people?"
Who are you people?
just travelers.
5 cell swords.
We've seen a lot of the world.
My name is Ogo.
Yes, indeed.
Fahuli.
Jimmy.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Jimmy Q, they call me.
Sorry.
Nothing less
name-
suspicious than everyone answering immediately.
Totally my name. Been called that my whole life.
Jimmy Q.
Jimmy Q, that's what they call me.
She sort of folds her hands and puts her arm around her son, and she says, I'd like to get to my husband as quickly as possible, please.
Right, and Lily's waiting for us too. I don't feel good about leaving her there alone. All
Yes.
those pirates. Except, now that I said that out loud, I'm sure she's already made best friends with all of them.
She's fine, let's be honest.
She's excellent. Yep. She's doing great.
You get back and there's a party on the boat.
They've turned into like a luxury cruise yacht.
If we can't leave, we might as well party it up.
Hey! Open bar!
But no, you do continue rowing through this, the boat sitting heavily in the water with all of these bodies and all of this weight, but it, Ugo is muscling it through, and eventually you return to that place again. Again, you hear these voices, and this time less, Fahima and Ugo, you notice less agitation and alarm and more barking orders and trying to get things done. And again, it is a very small number of total pirates on this thing, but all of them seem to be actively working to try to get this thing back in sailing shape. And you hear Whitebeard on the deck yelling out and instructing people to do this and that, and trying to hurry the process along and saying, "We're out here sitting ducks. I don't want to be here any second. Keep working. Don't make me start the whipping."
Whitebeard, it's a little early to use a bird reference after the boat's been attacked by birds.
And you see Saugus walk down and he's like, "I saw birds attack the boat. I saw one bird, then two birds."
I want an episode where it's just Saugus and Loudmouth talking back and forth.
I was just thinking that.
Episode.
I mean, if you guys thought you didn't think I could like backstory and a reason he's obsessed with birds, I think it's pretty impressive. I'm just
All coming together.
All right, so you guys are all sort of reunited. You again, the ladder comes down. Baojai and Chomel are brought up and onto the deck, and there's this flurry of activity with the few pirates that are still remaining. But you see Lily there as well, having Lily obviously found some rations and delivered them to Choran.
Yeah. Trying not to spend too much time with him as to make Whitebeard agitated.
Right.
I also would have loved to just had a quick chat with him though, Jeff, about what we don't have to necessarily play out the whole thing, but like what he wants to do once they get back.
Well, maybe we should. I mean, if you want to have that conversation,
Yeah.
you know, as you sort of bring him back to the cell, if that was your intention, unless you wanted to not do that.
No.
So you bring him back to the cell, this freestanding cell on the bow before the team arrives, and he looks at you and sighs and steps into it again and folds his arms and he says, "How much longer are we going to have to put up with this? I am a man of my word. I have proven it."
I don't know. I know that you've also promised Whitebeard great treasure.
And I will deliver on that.
Well, he's not a man to trust someone's word, unfortunately.
I don't know what else to do. I don't know how else to prove him. He has my family and myself at his mercy.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying, of what I've seen being on this ship and how he works, he's he's not really that complicated. He's pretty straightforward. He does what's best for him. So we have to show him how the situation is best for him. And I know that's frustrating and it's not fair. What he does is not fair. That's not how he operates.
Are you saying he's going to betray me?
I'm saying I don't know. I hope not. And I know that we will fight if that happens to try and help you. But I don't know. Whitebeard acts in his own best interest. We've seen it time and time again. But the more you appease him, the more likely he is to be kind, to be reasonable, if you could even attach those words to him ever.
Then I suppose close the door and lock me in like an animal.
You're not an animal. We're all trapped here until we figure out what to do. But I think raising your concerns to him puts you at risk of causing more harm to your family.
I understand. I will be the supplicant.
This is not a talk I ever wanted to have to give anyone. feel like a hypocrite even saying it to you, but it's what we've observed.
That's about the time the boat arrives and everyone is offloaded, and you see, as you, Lily, sort of make your way over to the arriving folks, you see Choron grab the bars and start looking through and trying to make sure he sees Baojai and Chomel there. So all of you now are on the deck of the ship, and you see quite a lot of damage that has been done. It looks like many of the sails have been just ripped to shreds. There are holes in, I mean, they were not unfurled, right? They were wrapped up, but it still seems like they were battered and tattered, and there are bits of the mast that seem to have been broken. It's as if something, as if they went through a hailstorm or something. Yeah. It's wild.
Well, we need to go back to Bosta, yes, to get Whitebeard's ship, and then we'll hopefully have our direction from there, from Mr. Choron. Whitebeard, and I will say, I received another vision from another ghost on the beach. We need to avoid the light of the lighthouse on the way back. If we do that, we can avoid the ghost ship, the thing that caused us such panic on our way over here.
So, avoid the light.
Yes.
And sail directly toward a landmass without illumination.
Yes. I guess we could wait the night.
Didn't we do that before? Because the lighthouse wasn't lit until you guys went up there.
No.
You came to the other side of the island.
From the other direction.
Gotcha.
And you arrived in the morning, but also you arrived at the completely other side of
Gotcha.
Boster.
We could risk it, or we could. Yes, we could. We could.
What about Fahima? I'm whispering this to you.
I was just thinking the same thing. We happen to have someone on board who can provide a great deal of illumination, if need be.
Oh, and how is that?
Fahima.
Fireballs?
Yeah.
Or something thereabout. That thing that Meep was doing on the rowboat when you rowed up to shore.
Yes, wasn't it spectacular?
Amazing. Could we do something? Could we do something that big for the ship?
Meep sounds weird.
It's actually just Civ. He's just getting excited.
Oh, got it. Civ's hungry.
Someone's scratching behind Civ's ears right now. Yes, Meep could do the same thing again. I don't know. Will it be big enough?
Maybe not. Or maybe we could put a boat out in front to guide the way. I don't know. Or we could wait the night. But I don't think any of us want to stay here much longer, right?
Well, it seems to me there's a winged demon in the sky that I'm not anxious to meet again.
Right.
But I also am not anxious to sail directly toward an island without knowing where land is. So, perhaps you have some more bright ideas.
I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
Whitebeard Master Punster.
Oh, go ahead, Sim.
No, go ahead.
It's a bit off topic, but while we're thinking about that, I was thinking about how on the way over here, when we went through all the ship and the madness and all of that, perhaps it would be more beneficial for you if we kept Choron and his family down below in a room that we could lock. The cage leaves them very susceptible to any type of damage, and without them, we get no treasure.
Makes a lot of sense.
It is in our best interest to have them down below. Also, presumably the Lord of Crows has more access to this boy in that cage.
You want
We
to
have
put a Triton closer to the water, huh?
I want to
That's
put a
your
Triton
plan.
into a room, yes.
As opposed to on the deck of a ship where he could leap off at any moment.
Are
He's
the
in a
rooms
cage.
below made with water?
No.
Oh, don't be daft. You know that the bottom of the ship sits in the water. Seems to me a little too close for comfort. And I thought the plan was that we didn't go back through the madness. Wasn't that what you just said?
It is,
Yes.
but I'm just saying there's still a chance that they're more accessible to the Lord of Crows or whatever this demon is. It's like a light on the front of our ship. Your ship, sorry. Is it not? Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, you make a point.
I'm touching Lily's shoulder and casting guidance on her. Because I can tell that she's trying to persuade him. I don't know if it means anything, but
Yeah, why don't you roll the persuasion? You have advantage from Lily Dumblebay, countered by Grim Fated.
And a D4 for guidance.
I should also say, there's some potatoes, people.
What?
Potatoes!
3 potatoes from Twinsen, 1 from Scoundrel Lovejoy, 1 from Dresden Dark. It's potato, potato, potato. You say potato, I say alato. You know what I'm saying?
Amazing.
Master Punster. We also have Love from King Daddy 99, The Brush of Tea, Anthropomorphic Muppet, Chef Scott 68,
Amazing.
Demon Knight, Melchior, Pytyrus Stormblade, Love for the Catman, Rugalius Booglius. Gotta love Rugalius Booglius. Thank you all for those balloons. We are in your debt. Thank
I
you.
got a dirty 20.
All right.
That's low, Lily. You've been slipping. Come on.
Sorry.
You make a fair point about advertising our query. All right.
Obviously up to you. It's your ship.
I'll tell you what. You, and he looks at you, Lily, are in charge. But if anything should go awry, it's you who I'll hold responsible, if you know what I mean.
Yes, you're very clear about what that means.
Do people still do the whole walk the plank thing?
Oh, that's the least of your worries.
Don't give him any ideas, Fahima.
Jeff, out of game, when we were sailing up this way, was the lighthouse beam of light one straight beam, or was it a lighthouse that actually revolved?
It was
the light?
one straight beam. It was. I tried to describe it as we were going, that it was this eerily focused pathway. It behaved like a
bullseye lantern.
Yes.
Okay.
And it created
we've
this
been
path,
told
and
that-
that's the same path that the ship, as you were heading straight for the island, and even when Whitebeard at one point tried to change course, you sort of couldn't, and the ship was coming right at you and intersected you along that plane, along that singular pathway that seemed to be illuminated from the lighthouse.
So,
And-
in theory, if the beam of light is projected in one direction, wouldn't we still be able to see that light without being inside of it? If we were
That's-
sailing around, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, theoretically, if you came off that plane and you saw somebody holding a flashlight, you could see a beam of light off to the side. It's certainly something that, in normal situations, would be intuitive.
Okay.
Sure.
So, I'm gonna, James, unless you stop me, I'm gonna pitch that idea to Whitebeard.
Please.
Captain,
Yeah.
I had a thought. Since the beam of light coming from the lighthouse is stationary and doesn't change or move or move around or revolve, could we not sail off to the side of it, still using the light to be able to tell where land is without actually being in the beam itself?
And he thinks about that for a second, and then he turns and looks at Fahima and James, and he says, "You're the mages. You tell me."
Well, I know your Saugus is impeccable when it comes to steering vessels.
He's the best.
Right.
You're looking at the mages, but you're the prolific pirate. Have you not ever snuck up on someone before? Snuck up on a place that's dark? Tried to get there with stealth? You must have done this before.
I don't think I like your tone. You're the ones telling me you got a vision. That the only way to avoid the madness is to steer clear. So you tell me, how clear do we need to steer? I
was told avoid the light of the lighthouse. So if there is a clear beam of light in one direction, that points to a certain point, which apparently was the point where this island used to be, before the wardens broke it off and moved it. Amazing as that is to say. Then as long as we avoid that direction, I mean that space, I think we can make it work.
How fast does the ship sail?
fast ship.
You set him up.
Too bad you can't do a victory lap around your webcam.
It made the Castle Rum, and
I think we all know how many pint sips it took to do it last time.
Well, I'm sort of brainstorming. If we could send something ahead, as long as it was fast enough to stay ahead of the ship, to sort of scout the way.
Ugo can't row fast enough, that's for sure.
Right.
What?
Well,
No, it's not an insult. You're an amazing rower.
Or if we had, my parrot who could fly ahead.
Right.
But
you
I don't
guys
think she'd
send
be
your
fast.
parrot into madness for our benefit.
No, just into darkness.
Oh, all right. Well, it's worth a shot if you think we can keep the light in our view and get a sense of where the island is. Saugus, do you think you can do it? I can try.
I have the utmost faith in you, sir.
Lily, does this all sound good to you? Because apparently it's you who's on the line with this plan.
Yes. I mean, I don't have a better solution.
We're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place here. Either a winged demon comes down on us in the middle of the night, or we crash into the shore, or we sail into ghosts.
We go back through another cloud of madness.
Which one was the rock in that?
The middle one.
Oh.
I think we should put our trust in Saugus. Personally.
Agreed.
Oh, well. Thank you.
Saugus, of course, the turtle helmsman of the tardy plunder.
If Choron and if Choron's being let out of his cage and everything, and as that's happening, I would like to warn him what I've noticed about his wife, and that his wife might be or I know they're not married. Baojai.
Yeah.
That Baojai might be suffering from some of the madness that came from the ghost ship.
Well, if you guys are done with this conversation with Whitebeard, he's given Lily charge of maintaining that family and keeping them under control, basically.
Yeah. I think as soon as this convo was done, I'd probably go get
him
and take them, find a room for them downstairs.
And of course, as soon as the door is open of the cage, he rushes and embraces his family, and he says, "Tell his family where to go. Thank you for letting me out, and thank you for not forcing them into that cage with me."
It has nothing to do with you. It's better for Whitebeard.
Oh, right. Thank you. I mean, yes.
I will, and I'll take that moment to kind of sly in close. With the time that I've spent with Baojai, I think she might be suffering from the madness that came from the ghost ship on her way here. I think that explains why she turned on Ostrom and became so paranoid. So I'm just telling you this so you can be aware and be careful.
I don't know what to do.
I may be able. I don't know. There is magic that can cure this sort of thing. I don't know if I have it. I certainly don't right now.
I cannot believe that Ostrom would turn. He is the most loyal of...
I don't think... What I'm telling you is I don't necessarily think that he did. Maybe he did. Maybe she's right. I could be wrong. But something tells me that it looks very familiar as to some of the visions that I saw, or that I know that we saw in that cloud. So just be careful, because she, I don't think, is feeling very safe or very trusting of anyone right now, including yourself.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Good.
Come along.
Lily,
Yes?
before you go down below, I hate to bother you, but do you mind? And I'm gonna pull back my armor, and there's just gonna be tons of little like scrapes and cuts, and like birds have been pecking at my back.
Yes. Yes.
Do you have anything left?
Barely, but I have something that can at least patch this up for now.
Lily,
Yes?
before you go, and I'll go lift up his shirt, and clearly he's got a deep gash in his chest. Guess it's still bleeding.
Yes. All right. I'm here, both of you. I have the ability to do this twice. So, 1 second.
I kind of sneak over, and I'm gonna really pay attention and observe as Lily does this.
As she cures us?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I've just been lamenting lately that I can't heal.
Mm.
All right. I'll go 9 points of healing for you.
It closes a little.
Yeah. I have only first level spells. And then Civ is 6. Sorry.
It's been a long day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Better than nothing.
Yep.
Oh yeah, for sure.
When you heal me, I'm gonna lean down and say, "Be very careful around Baojai.
Oh yes. I
She's
know.
not well."
Okay.
Be careful around Chomel. He's Yan Mo.
Wait, what? I didn't. Wait.
Honestly,
James
I
has been
think-
very distracted.
James
Just
immediately
noticed.
runs over and starts attacking Shomel.
Oh, that's what we're doing now. Okay.
The
Just kidding.
warning
Just
should
kidding.
be for me to be careful around him. Him to be careful around me. Okay. Okay, so I'll walk them downstairs and assume there's like a room somewhere.
Yeah,
that I can find with a lock.
you've been informed of where to take them.
Yeah.
There are chambers down there. As I said, it is a small crew, so there are lots of empty areas to hole up, and there's one particular area that Whitebeard has decided to make available that is not exactly nice, but it does lock, so you're able to lock them in there should you choose.
Okay. I'll take them in there and then I'll be right back. I'll lock them in and then I'll go get if I can go find a few more supplies to bring in there with them to make it a little more comfortable.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I wanted to chat. How is she looking at this point?
Baojai?
Yeah.
I mean, she still is.
I guess. Sorry. How is she looking in reference to being next to
Choran?
Choran.
Choran.
Sorry. Yes. Choran, Chomel, Baojai.
Yeah.
She, know, I think there is more sense of comfort around her husband and her son when no one else is around. As you come back into the room with supplies, with some light rations and things to make them more comfortable, blankets. You catch a moment of relaxation that you really haven't seen from them. They alone, but she is still in this weird state, this agitated state.
My lady, I will let
Yes.
you guys be and rest. I know there is a lot that has happened in the last little bit, but you keep mentioning your sister.
Yes.
Where is she?
Where? I imagine at this moment she is sitting on a throne.
Does she know where you are? Or
Gods, I hope not.
as we take you back to land and presumably you have your freedom again, I hope. Is this something we need to be concerned about?
I will be concerned about it till my dying day.
What is
And then
your name?
Choran steps forward. Do you know of anywhere we can go? Anywhere safe?
I don't know what's safe here. But I will think about it, and I will try and find a place.
You hear Chomel. Dad? You said you'd take me to Bingle. I know, son. I know, but I don't know if that'll ever happen.
If you ever go there, it's a very special place. Full of very special people who would do anything to protect you. They would not harm a soul.
Dad, we have to go to Bingle then. I don't know, son. I need you to stop right now. Stop. But Dad, you promised. Son. This situation has changed. We will discuss this later.
I know that Bingle would take care of you if you went there.
He starts crying, the little boy, the 5-year-old. Please let us, thank you for the supplies. Please let us have some time.
Yes. I'll come back and check on you in a little bit. And I'll go back up. To the deck.
All right, you return to the deck.
Do you mind if we take our break here, Jeff?
It's a good idea. Good idea. This will be our intermission. Let's thank some folks. We have... I don't have my screen up. Hang on a second. We're gonna take a brief intermission. There we go. Shayberry, Subatai the Smithy. That's a pretty cool new name I haven't seen before. Grumpy Dwarf, Atheist Dad, JT Justice, Melchior, Demon Knight. Who else? Elliot is back. I haven't seen Who Else Elliot in a while.
Hey.
Change Box is back and more. Thank you for those balloons. Thank you very much. We are going to take a brief intermission, and I think it was the perfect time for it. And we will be back on the flip side. In the meantime, Araban is going to take care of you, and we'll be back shortly.
Yep.
Well. Yes. Yes. Milo, do me a favor and yourself a favor, and remove the things from the window that I said to remove from the window. Good. Now, fear not, watchers. Our campaign will continue after this brief intermission. Right now, it's time for us to enjoy each other's company. What is that? Dresden, Dark, you are Mr. What? You are Mr. Potato Man now, aren't you? Is that what you're trying to do? Are you trying to expose yourself as the man of the potato? What? Cosmic Lord, while I'm trying to expose Dresden Dark as the new Potato Man, you went ahead and decided you would simply kill my one and only minion. Isn't that right? Good job. He's dead. He's on the floor. He's no longer breathing. I'll have to bring him back. And Twinson, Love for Heather, Stuart, and Leah. You know what, twins, and I just realized something. Last week, you had asked me, hold on, grim fated, wait! I was responding to twins, and now I've got to respond to you as well. This is insanity. I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. All right, hold on here. I'm trying to move this. Milo, please. Sorry. Something is wrong with our computer. Milo is chewing on the cords and ruining things. And my apologies. Let me just make sure I have all of this saved here. All right. Cosmic Lord, let's see. He's got the... yes, No, Milo, do me a favor. Scroll back. I want to see that. The potatoes. How many of them are there? All right, good. Well, hold it. Don't move it. Okay. Milo is dead. Congratulations, Cosmic Lord 09. Cold Candor, thank you for the potato. I will do some due diligence this evening and see if we can get those cooked up. I know that Milo is loving the potatoes, potatoes as we're calling them. He has grown very fond of them and greatly appreciates them. So each of you, thank you for that. Now, going back to Twinsen. Second love for Leah and Heather and Leah. You had asked, I believe last week, if I'm not mistaken, that there we give a little credit where credit was due to the two wonderful people that make the music for the Dungeon Run. Specifically, at Heather Stewart and at Leah. And I will say this. As a friend and confidant of them both, and as a very frequent viewer, or should I say listener, of their music, I would like everyone to know that they are, in fact, two of the greatest artists when it comes to applying musical narrative to the background of a great and wonderful story. And if you've never heard their music before, do so. I don't know if they're there and they can provide links to their Spotify's or whatever it is that they have. But it's beautiful and amazing. And they're amazing. And they do a great job. In fact, the music that you're hearing right now is from them. The silliness. What even is this? Can you turn it up? Can someone turn it up? Milo, turn up the music. I want to hear it louder. Ah, yes. There it is. I had to turn it up for myself. Actually, I had Milo turn it up for me. All right, look. There's a lot of potatoes being dropped. Captain Critical, thank you. Very nice. You have to understand, these are not small donations. These are quite big. And we do greatly appreciate them. And please understand, though, you do not need to give these. As a matter of fact, I would request that you stop. And here's why. Because if you keep giving them, then I'm going to have to do something outrageous. And I don't want to do anything outrageous. It's a bad idea. You see. I know it's love. No. I understand what it is. It's love. But I don't want to be put in this position where after a certain number of them, then I have to do something crazy. Like, I don't know, take off my robe or my shirt or perhaps my necklace or maybe do a dance, as Vanderslice is saying. I don't want to do it, but I feel the need. I'm worried, I should say, that I'm going to feel the need to do so. So stop giving. No! Twinsen, stop it. I have a feeling bad feelings are coming. Don't. Quit it. Quit. Oh, goodness gracious. Vince Ruth, number one. Milo has now exploded. He's on the floor, and he did have a dinner this evening of chili, which of course means now things don't look so good in this room. No, that's the truth. So we're going to get that cleaned up. Again. I heard what? Yes, Deadpool 1980. I want to go back. I'm sorry. There's a lot going on here. The Candle Queen had mentioned earlier that if you did 100 potatoes, that she would do a candle stream. Well, I'm telling you right now, Candle Queen, I won't allow it. I will not allow it. I will come in there and I will force it to be shut down. No. Stop it, Twinsen. Stop. Enough. Because no one but me will be making candles on this stream or in this broadcast. No one but me. I will be making the candles, even though she's the Candle Queen. I will not allow it. Listen. No one can donate a potato for you, Shaberry. No one can, all right? It's not acceptable. Please stop, please. I think it's working, Milo. As long as I keep telling them to no longer give them, they'll keep giving them. Look at them. They're like crazy ones. I love being so smart. Grim-fated, you wanted to see Lord A make a candle. Well, look, I'll do it. Just get to 100 by the end of the show. Let me tell you something. You people are out of your minds, and I absolutely appreciate it and love it. And here's the real thing. I know that it's because you actually love the show that you're giving them and not because I'm saying anything. But at the same time, we here at the Dungeon Run do want to appreciate you and tell you that we greatly thank you for all that you have done for us. The very end of the day, this show only matters because of the people that watch it. So thank you again. And because I'm on it, of course. But just stop with it. Jared! Jared, wait a second. You just gave an emoji of a potato. Well, if these people are actually giving potatoes, I feel like that needs to be walked back. Perhaps now we even need to give a potato or something, because that's just strange. Dresden Dark, again, thank you. Twinsen, again, thank you. I'm actually shocked. I really am uncomfortable with this, because at this point, I don't even know what to do. Miko Blico says, Lord A, ketchup, mayo, or brain sauce with your fried rice. No, Miko, I cannot eat them. No, let's be very clear. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that I am allergic to potatoes, though I haven't had one yet. Any other food that I've eaten other than a brain has always culminated in some sort of squidding or inking of sort. Twinsen, is that another one? What are you doing? Now, perhaps this is obvious to everyone else, but are you drinking, sir? And if so, congratulations and continue, please. This is phenomenal. We are at 30. All right, well, this should just be out. This is out of control. No more potatoes, but Grim-Fated is giving a disadvantage to everyone. This is insane. As a matter of fact, I would have to say, out of all the shows so far, this is far and away the most out of control you people have become. And I can't say anything other than I love it. All right. Well, since we've hit that number, well, not because we've hit that number, but because I need to do what I need to do, we're going to talk about the Dungeon Run props. I'm sorry, I have to just say this before I continue. I may or may not have been engaging in something before the intermission. I was not actually prepared to come back from the intermission. I was watching the show. Milo and I were having a talk. He was eating ice cream. I was enjoying brains. So everything sort of came out of the blue here. And I do apologize for the way that I ventured into this intermission. It was not my usual take, and for that I apologize. And again, thank you for what you've done. All right, here we go. Yes, I've been drinking a little bit as well. Number 1, Dungeon Run props. You can give the gift of advantage. That's the ability to roll a pair of 20-sided dice at once, taking the highest value. That's a bonus. That's something that's good for the players. On the other side, number 2, you can set the trap of disadvantage. If a player has advantage, this disadvantage will counter it. And if the player does not have an advantage, they will roll a pair of 20-sided dice and take the lowest value. You see, that's bad. You don't want to do that necessarily. You don't want to give that to the players because you'll hurt them. However, if you're grim-fated or part of her ilk, then perhaps you'd like to do that. Please note, when you give an advantage or a disadvantage, please specify which player at the table it is for. Or again, I will make the choice for you, though I did mention that at the beginning of the show. I'm mentioning it again. Next, there is Show Love. That's that blue balloon. That's our celebratory item. If you want to show love or send love to the team, you can do so with that. Or, it seems, if you're a bit more of a risk taker and you are interested in shocking everyone, you can drop a potato. Quite honestly, it makes me uncomfortable when I see them because I don't really know what a potato is. You see, Dungeon Run... the Dungeon Run, that is what I was talking about. It's very... I don't know exactly how to respond to it, so... 31, yes. Wow. All right. Finally, there is also Milo's Ball. But please, again, that should be relegated and left for maybe even after the show. Please just don't drop them at all because, like I was mentioning before, if you didn't already know, they kill Milo. And Milo is my minion, and Milo does things for me, like grab my spritz at the beginning of the show. Sometimes he grabs me a beverage. Every so often, he will even clean up his own feces off the floor. That being said, Twinsen has killed, has exploded, has re-exploded all of the pieces of Milo sitting on the floor. So now I'm noticing I didn't know this has actually happened. So when Milo explodes from the second of Milo's balls, each of those pieces then explodes. And those pieces then explode, and so on and so forth. We now are completely ridden with bits of Milo, and I do not know how long it's going to take to bring him back from this particular set of circumstances. He's basically, yes, Lord Corwin, that is a very wise thing that you said. Milo atoms have become Milo quarks. That, it looks as though that's the case. We might need a couple of mages to come in here and actually do some work here, and maybe some even wizards, and bring him back to life, because I'm not really sure I'll be able to do it. Okay, now, we get through everything? I think we did. Oh yes, finally, last but not least, we're not using force cards anymore. So, force cards, you won't see. Those will bring back when the show goes back to the studio and we're all done with this whole social distancing thing. All right. Twinsen, would you mind if I simply called you the Potato Man? Would that satisfy you? Would that stop you from doing what you're doing? Or would that just cause you to continue? Because what you are doing now is starting to scare me. A spud stud is what Goofus McDorkle is saying. He is a spud stud, or a potato daddy. A Fahima would call Twinsen a potato daddy, says Just Jules. What did you do that for? Twinsen, at least split them up into two. Why would you do... That's 2 in 1. Oh my goodness. Do you own a yacht? What do you do for work, my good man? This is out of control. Like, really? All right. Twinsen, what would you like us to do? We are here. I am ready to. Would you like me to stand up and strip nude? I'll do it. I mean, I don't want to, but I will. All right, I'm kidding. I won't. No, they're telling me not to do that. All right? The producers are saying do not strip nude. I understand. Thank you. Yes, they're saying do not. Lord Ereban, please. We do not need to see that. But I feel like we have to do something for him. Perhaps, well, what would you like, Twinson? I could cut off one of my arms. I could sever a foot. Maybe, well, I mean, I'd sever one of Milo's, but he's not with us at the moment. Better promo for Leah and Heather Stewart. Well done. Well, here we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Lord Ereban, the Keeper of Secrets here at the Dungeon Run, and I would like to present to you two of the finest musicians on planet Earth. Specifically, at Heather Stewart and at Leah. You can find them on Caffeine at Heather Stewart and Leah. You can click the star next to their name and follow them for future reference when you want to be notified when they're going live. Should I do more? Twinson, is there anything else you'd like me to say? An album, perhaps, or a... I don't even know what to do. What else? Is that it? All right. Have they been properly... promote their albums, all right? Is there an album they have that I should promote? Heather and Leah, albums? Go ahead, you promote your own. I allow it for this moment, and this moment only. Arcane Rebel, thank you for sharing the broadcast. We appreciate it. Could we have a gameplay effect because of potatoes? Calcanius. Well, you are a potato deliverer, so perhaps it's something to think about. All right, so here we go. Heather Stewart has a album called Me, or are you just saying your album is what it is, Life of the Party? I'm just double checking on that. And then for Leah, if she's promoting here a little bit, go to www.leahfinkelstein.com, spelled www.leahfinkelstein.com, and Heather Stewart at www.heatherstewart.com. You can always follow me at lordereban.com. I'm just kidding. I don't have a website, but I will get one after this show for sure. Okay. Brentley Moore asks, Lord A, when will you allow us to buy the HP potions for the Advent Heroes? Well, you can buy them, but they just will not have an effect on the show. All right, so, but you're wondering when can we use it, is what you're saying. That's a very good question. We'll have to talk about that back at the office, you will. Well, I don't know what else to do. I really don't. Because my brain feels, quite honestly, potatofied, like mashed potatoes. And not only that, but I know what you want to see. You want to see the show, and that's precisely what we're going to do. So, before we go back, I do want to say to those of you that have shared tonight's show, thank you. If you have not shared the show, I please ask you to do so, not show. And if you would like to share it, it's also good to include #TheDungeonRun, because that then helps people understand where we are and what we're doing. Also, tell a friend to tell a friend. Yes? Good. All right. Well, that was an intermission of great exposure for Leah and Heather, and for those of you that love potatoes. And now, remember, I'll be joining you in your social conversation around the game, but until then, it is time to rejoin our adventurers.
Yay! We're back.
Hey!
Oh my goodness.
Yay!
What an intermission.
Potato Fest!
First of all of the love is still not as much as Leah and Heather deserve. My goodness, their music
100%.
live
Truth.
live composition into the show. Live scoring is the word I was looking for. Every single week, it's extraordinary, and we are in their debt. Every single week, I send them a note after the show going, "You did even better this week. It was mind-blowing." So thank you all in the audience for recognizing that. Excuse me. And if you are watching this and you're going, "What's all this potato talk? Why is everybody talking about potatoes?" Well, it's part of that live experience, baby. And we are live every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time at caffeine.tv/the dungeon run. It's really the coolest way to watch the show. We appreciate you watching or listening, however you do it. But if you have the opportunity, I highly encourage you to jump in here with this incredible community. It is the best way to experience the show live, interacting with this awesome group. So thank you all. Thank you, potato farmers, for I have to talk about all the potatoes that happened over Twinsen. I think there was something like 6 potatoes from Twinsen over the break.
Wow.
Which is just bonkers.
A 6-pack of potatoes.
That's he picked a pack of pickled potatoes. And Dungeon Run, yay. Had one. Grim Faded gave us one. Thank you, Grim Faded. Grim Faded, in the running for series MVP.
For real.
And we also got love. We also appreciate those balloons. It doesn't have to always be potatoes. Every single balloon is precious to us, and we are grateful for it. Aegis 13, Gamer Share, Fall Star, God Killer 92, Captain Critical, Grim Faded as well, Red Robin, Damon 7, Cat the Mage, and others. Thank you all for that support. We're grateful to be able to do this show for you, and we're grateful that you like it. So
we have great spuddies. That's what we have.
Spuddies.
Spuddies.
If you're a potato farmer, you're a spuddy.
Spuddy.
Official spuddy of the show. Very, very good. Very good coinage, Ron.
Thanks.
Okay. So
I'll be here tonight.
And every week. Tip your waitress. We are here still sort of not adrift. We are anchored, but the ship is not in sailing condition. Lily has secured the prisoners, which still is an accurate descriptor for those 3 Dragonborn. They are prisoners of Whitebeard on this ship, and they are now below decks, but that doesn't mean that the ship can actually get into motion. There is quite a bit of damage still to be dealt with, and the sails themselves, when unfurled, are not going to catch the wind. They have been completely ravaged by what has been reported to be an attack of many, many birds. So that's where we sit now, still anchored as Whitebeard is attempting to get this again. A skeleton crew, I keep saying it, but it is worth repeating because it means that repairs are slower to happen than they would be in any other circumstance.
I'm jumping in. I'm gonna climb up the rigging or the mast because I can probably climb better than anybody in the crew, and I'll start sewing up them holes.
All right, just roll me a survival check. You have advantage from Cold Candor, countered by Don't Hate Fahima.
Okay.
Fahima, do you have the ability to mend anything? I forget.
You know I do.
I thought so. I should work on the sails, yes?
Definitely.
Excellent.
Magic is so useful.
Well, do you want to come along, Ugo, and see?
Like cast mending?
Well, we could try.
Oh.
You can read the words, and I can show you how to do the movements.
Yeah. If you want to hang on my back, I'll climb you up there.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I didn't think you were going to say yes to that. Okay.
I'm looking up to see what the components of mending are. Let's see.
It's just a cantrip. I don't know.
I think it's just a cantrip.
Verbal, somatic, and material components. Okay.
What's the material components?
I'll when we get there, I'll take
her focus
off my,
if she has a focus.
my focus.
Just a focus.
And give it to Ugo.
All right. So meanwhile, Civ, what did you roll?
A whopping 3.
Oh
So
no!
by mending sails, I mean I get my claws involved and I just rip the sails up even more.
Yeah.
It's
Who
like
let
it's
the
like a
cat
cat
man up there.
Yeah, it's a cat playing with yarn or string or whatever. I just shred the hell out of it.
He's gonna
Yeah.
mend the sails, but he climbs the sails.
Yeah, so that's not being particularly helpful, but your intentions are good, which is
I find a
which is
spray
nice.
bottle and spray it. It's it. Down! Get down! Get down from there!
And on the other side, we have Fahima climbing on Ugo's back as he sort of muscles his way up the ropes into you know, if you imagine sails that are furled, they are not unfurled, they are furled, they are collected together, but they're shredded, and you see this, you know, this holes everywhere, bits hanging off, pieces of the canvas kind of frayed and loose. It is clearly a very bad scene, and as you kind of get to the place perched up there on the back of Ugo, Fahima, you see a crew member start pulling on ropes below, and the sail itself does kind of unfurl a bit, and it really shows how much damage has been done to this thing. It's in tatters.
Oh wow. Okay, so I take off my necklace, my Freedy gem, and I give it to Ugo.
Oh, well, that's pretty.
So that's how I focus the magical energy. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So sometimes you have to use, for example, for mending, you can use 2 lodestones, but because I have this, it works and it replaces that. So the
Like money.
like using
that's how much the spell cost. Is 2 lodestones or this necklace.
Sure. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, like 400
Exactly,
malls,
Ugo.
like Lily told me.
Well, what's good about this is it's reusable. So then you do this with your hands.
I can't do that because I'll fall.
Well, also it's a bit like someone showing a 10-year-old how to juggle chainsaws.
Right. Safely.
It's a bit like, yeah, it's a bit like all you have to do is you pull the chainsaw and then you just start juggling it. That's all you have to do.
Oh.
You know, it is an extraordinarily complex and refined series of movements that are not easily like the thing.
Oh, it's not
that
just
make-
this.
to you, it very well may be.
Yes, you need
There's
words
a
as
subtlety
well.
to it that is.
Oh.
Referendum.
Well, we know I'm not going to doubt.
Referendum. Referendum. And
Reprimand.
lay the gem on your chest, like so, so it's touching, your skin.
You're gonna have to do that. I don't want to fall.
I'll hold it up.
Okay.
Referendum.
Reprimand.
Referendum.
Referendum.
You sort of flick it at the end of the referendum.
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 Oh, I got it. Referendum.
Time is slightly of the essence.
Okay, maybe you should just do it.
All right, just watch closely, all
Yeah,
right?
okay, I'll watch you.
And then all of a sudden, the sails start mending and sewing themselves back together. Individual threads of the canvas moving as Fahima's like kind of not even really paying attention. She's more looking at you, Ugo, and she's kind of like just doing it offhandedly. It is, you know, the sails are repairing themselves in front of you as if pulled by invisible butterflies. You know, it's just like it's a bit Cinderella as they're putting her together, right? It's
that is not as simple as you make it look.
Well, practice makes perfect.
I will have to practice referenduming later.
Yes.
But again, this is not something that even Fahima would be able to snap her fingers and fix in a short period of time. Each of those individual tears and bits of damage requires your attention, requires casting of your cantrip. It is a laborious and time-consuming process to continue. I mean, you can mend the sail, but it actually is not, because it is death by 1,000 cuts in a sense. It is not something that is easily just sort of snap your fingers and it's done. So it is taking some time as Fahima on the back of Ugo is getting higher and higher and fixing more of the sails.
But see, this is perfect, right? It's what we talked about earlier. Now you are helping me use my magic. But see, we work together perfectly.
Yeah. Thank you.
I will go over to Saugus and kind of be like looking at the map with him, talking about the path of the lighthouse, basically trying to find a strategic way to avoid it, hopefully.
All right, roll me a survival check of your own. This is has advantage from Red Robin, countered by Grim Fated.
Thank you, Red Robin and Grim Fated.
Yum.
7.
Yeah, I mean, you are certainly not, even though you've spent time on this very ship 22 years from now, you're not someone who spent a lot of time navigating the sea, but you're attempting to be helpful, and you're trying to it's more about holding the map down in place for Saugus.
Right. No, yeah, you do it. You do it, please.
Jeff, I just had an idea.
Yeah.
I know this ship is new to Whitebeard and the crew. Is there a possibility that there could be a backup sail somewhere stowed on the ship?
Go look.
A spare tire hanging off the back.
Yeah, well, when I realized that I'm obviously not going to be fixing the sail anytime soon, and I see Fahima working her magic, literally, I'm going to climb back down, and I'm going to do what I do well, which is loot, and I'm going to search the ship and try to find a backup sail.
Do an investigation check for me. You have advantage from Grimsler, countered by Grim Fated.
Okay.
So much Grim.
Not a Grim.
This is much better. 17.
So it doesn't happen fast, but you are able to get down into the bowels of the ship. In fact, it is down in the cargo hold where someday, 22 years in the future, you and this crew are going to be sleeping down here. So in fact,
can I carve Civ was here on the side of the ship?
Yes.
So that when we get back to that timeline, it already says that.
Yeah, if you know, it'd be interesting to see if
that's not gonna mess with your mind when you're there.
Whenever this becomes a comic book or a graphic novel, that has to be in it. All of these little pieces where we're like, if only we had known.
I will spend that extra, 1 to 2 minutes of me taking out my rapier and going shh on the side of this thing saying Civ was here before I go back up.
All right.
I'm sorry. Did I find a sail?
13 years from now, that board would break, so they have to repair it.
No!
Who wrote this? Get it out of here. No. So it takes a while, but this is a familiar place to you of all things. It is a ship that you have spent time on. It's places that you have slept. It is a strangely nostalgic, almost a sense of deja vu that you get being down here in a place that didn't look like this when you were there. It's like being in the house you grew up in before, right when it was built or something. It's a strange thing, or returning there when somebody else lives there. That's that kind of a strange sense. But it also does, everything's laid out where you remember it. And lo and behold, there is a new sail rolled up tightly and stowed in the cargo hold on the side behind some other crates and things.
Okay, I'm gonna grab it and start to pull it out and realize that it's probably too big and bulky and heavy for just me. Yeah. And then run back up onto the top deck and say, I found another sail. Someone come and help me get it out.
And you see Loudmouth. I should have known that would be there.
I grab him by the arm and I pull him back down.
Nobody wants me to do Loudmouth anymore. So a few members of the crew start heading down, and there's this opening in the center of the ship, if you can recall our model of the Tardy Plunder. And there's actually a way to lower a winch down into the cargo hold. That's how they lower boxes and crates and all kinds of manner of cargo into and out of the hold. And that is lowered down, and they put a big hook underneath parts of that sail that is rolled up. Very, very long, big sail. These guys have done this kind of thing quite frequently. They hoist it up, unfurl it. All the while, everyone's sort of looking to the sky, hoping the birds don't return or something worse. And they unfurl this sail and start the laborious process of rigging it to the mast to get it, replace it in place. Even as on this other sail on the other side of the ship, Fahima is still mending away and casting over and over. And this process, as you guys have helped, has gotten the ship very close to being in a state where it'll catch the wind and move through the water.
Great.
All right, so
Well done.
as that happens, the new sail in place, Fahima, this is, a couple of hours of work easily, of you, working hard, Ugo muscling over to different sections, you on his back, this kind of strange labor practice that you've invented where you're sort of straddling his arm or on his shoulders, I imagine a headband tied off, you're sweating, you're working hard, in the dead of night here.
Is it an 80s montage? Can it be an 80s montage?
I like it.
All right.
The best around.
Gotta get the sail
Ugo and
working.
Viva making the sails go round.
No, actually, what it would be is just come sail away. Come sail.
Sail away.
And I've already said too much. We owe someone some money.
Somewhere Todd Stashwick is very happy.
Yes, exactly. All right, so it is deep into the night, but the ship, as the sail unfurls and it catches the wind in a dramatic fashion, Whitebeard goes, "Raise the anchor," and just multiple deckhands start cranking away on the anchor, and this big bolted chain pulls up, water cascading off of it as the anchor comes up out of the water, and the ship catches the wind in its sails and starts moving through the water again, again through the mist, through this thick night, the moon up above with stars illuminating, but this low settled thick mist out ahead of you. And Saugus indicates on the map and starts making a broad gesture, changing trajectory of the ship so that it'll make a wide berth of that area, that the lighthouse, which is sort of impossibly still visible, right? A lighthouse wouldn't be this focused and this visible this far away from shore, but there's this crazy beam of light casting a pathway in the water, and the ship very intentionally veers away from that, makes almost a 90-degree turn and just heads out into dark waters.
Great.
Can I beeline it to James?
Mm-hmm.
James,
Yes,
will you do me a favor?
of course.
Will you go down below and rest and spend some time with Lily and the others?
Yes. Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll go down and kind of, if Lily is sort of outside the door or whatever, I will go down and sort of to where the chamber where Lily and the family are. Yeah, and Lily, are you outside the door, or are you in there with them?
No, I'm outside the door.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll come up and basically, plop down on the floor next to you or whatever, or stand next to.
Do you want to
Are
go
you
back
all right?
to bed?
No, I don't think I can sleep. I think a little bit of a rest is a good idea, but I don't think a full on slumber is a good idea for me yet. Are you okay?
I've been better.
I know. Are they how do they seem in there?
I think how we all seem: confused, frustrated, scared. All the things.
Yes.
I don't have much words of comfort to give them, and I'm admittedly scared of the things I might say to a 5-year-old boy.
Yes, it's a little bit like walking around, like a pit of spikes. Like you're afraid the slightest wrong step will send you tumbling over.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know. I like to think that hopefully we've made a positive effect, but who has? I mean, we've talked about fate or destiny, and I don't. I hope we've made a good dent in the boy's life,
I hope.
or at least given his parents the ability to make a much larger one. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. We're spending maybe a couple days in this boy's life. hopefully.
He's so young.
Yes.
I was thinking about that when we found him. When I was 5, you know, what do you remember from when you were 5? What are the things that really stick with you? What can I do that actually changes his mind? And one part of me wants to hurt him.
There's no shame in that.
The terrible things he does to my family, and if I didn't feel that, I would feel even more guilty because then I'm betraying all of Bingle. But I also know that getting rid of him does not get rid of the problem.
Exactly.
I don't think it does anyway. Getting mad at him is just fighting fire with fire, and honestly, I fear that if I take out any of my anger on him, then I would be the reason that it happened in the future.
Yes.
I don't know what to do.
It seems to be that one of the biggest truths in our universe is hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
And the cycle continues. And so I'm very impressed by you. It can't be easy.
Grammy Dumblestuck always said, you know, getting angry at someone is... I don't remember if I can remember it exactly how I should, but it was like, getting angry at someone is like, it's like eating too much dessert.
Okay.
It is really good in the moment. It tastes good, but then it makes you sick later. And...
Yeah.
And I know that's what'll happen, but it sounds good right now.
I understand.
Dev,
Yes.
did you write that in the hammer?
I carved it in the side of it, yes.
I have to be honest with you.
What?
I am not brave.
Why do you say that?
This is very hard for me to say, but when I get rage, when I get angry, it is because I am afraid. And it is better to be angry, to channel that emotion into anger, for it to be a tool, than embrace my fear.
What are you afraid of?
The truth.
Well, if anyone can freely empathize with that, it would be me. My friend, I need to ask you one favor, I'm afraid.
You ask me many favors.
Well, this one's a big one.
Oh, okay.
If we go through this cloud of madness again, and you see me turn, I need you to put me out of my misery. I don't want to harm any of you. And the last time we went through it, I tried to kill James.
Why are we so quick to hurt things, Siv?
I think that's all we know. I think you and I were raised in a culture of violence. So it's the first thing we turn to.
But we are surrounded by people who love us.
Yes, and we want to protect them.
Yeah.
And violence is our tool to do that.
Yeah. Lily makes me question, and Fahima, she's so talented and she's so smart. And I feel like I'm a very good rower. I row very good, both boats and hammers. But I feel like because it is the only thing I know, I am quick to use it. And Lily has made it very clear that I should not be quick to use it all the time. Dondo talks about an oath, and he is strong, and he can make people tell the truth. I am worried that maybe I am not worthy of the Candle Queen. And that is why I cannot hear her now. I'm very afraid, Civ.
You and I both, my friend.
Have you known anybody who has been in the past?
No.
I don't even know if I am me. I don't look like me. I feel like me. I think like me.
Well, there is something that I shared with Lily, and I don't know if you overheard or not. But I think this is the amulet giving us a second chance. And I peel back the leather from my arms, and I show you my arm. Do you see this?
Yes.
There's no scars.
Yeah.
I don't need to drink here. I'm not addicted to anything. It's as if we've been given a clean slate.
Maybe you're right. Maybe all of this is to teach Uggo that he is not in control of his rage as he always thinks he is. You're very smart, Civ. Not always wise, but very smart. And I am thankful for you. I am sorry that I was hurt and angry at you for how you feel about Lily. That was unfair of me. You cannot control who you love, and I cannot control who I love. But I think I don't love myself very much. And perhaps that is the truth that I am so afraid of. I put so much of my self-worth in all of you, my family. And sometimes that feels like the right thing, and most of the time it feels like the right thing. But I think it can be toxic and problematic.
Those are very big words, my friend.
Yeah, I've been reading. That book the Duke gave me. It's a pretty good one. Thank you for thinking me of brave. And I will do my best to live up to the words that you have given. Especially for you.
Lily, maybe you should get some rest. I'm good to mind the door here, but I mean, you and Fahima need to get some sleep. My spells are back, probably now. But
Jeff, I'd like to go find the oh my gosh, I just had it in my head. The bullets and
Mulets?
bullets, yeah.
Wouldn't be on this ship. They'd be still on Whitebeard's itch.
Oh, right. This is a different ship. Okay, so then I'll find a private area maybe one with a closed door if I can.
It's pretty simple to find that in the ship, which is not even half full of its normal crew.
And I want to begin to experiment with identifying the properties of life transference, or I guess life force, with necromancy, with the liquor of death.
Okay.
Because, and so I'll drink it, and it will hurt. And then I will try to touch the magic around me to grab the weave, somehow do the things that wizards can't do, and try to heal myself.
And you feel that pain going down, and you reach out and try to harness it, try to harness some aspect of the magical energies, the arcane that you know so well, and you can't quite grasp it. And then you cut yourself.
Gah.
And you see the blood come up out of your veins. And you take the flask of liquor of the dead and you pour it on your exposed wound. As if sort of inspired. And as that liquor of the dead sizzles on the exposed blood and on the exposed wound, you look at it very closely, almost reminded of another time the blood came out of your hand. You start thinking about the properties of this strange liquid that seems to be able to break through some sort of barrier between life and unlife. Whatever veil exists between being and unbeing, this substance is able to do something, is able to bridge that gap, poke through that veil. You see it mix with your blood and it burns. But of course, burning is a sensation that you are very familiar with. And you let it. You let it burn. And you touch that feeling, that pain. And you press your hand together. And you squint your eyes. And you think about that veil. About that place between living flesh and decaying flesh. Between blood and dust. And you open your eyes, and the wound has healed.
Wow. I do it again.
You cut yourself deeper this time.
Oh.
And the blood drips plop plop onto the planks on the ground. And you realize there's some connection that you've established between hurting yourself and healing injured flesh.
Yep.
By the gods. I need to talk to Lily.
Cool.
Yes, you do.
That was creepy.
That was real creepy.
Amazing.
That was super creepy.
James has been standing there the whole time.
Next time Ugo asks me how magic works, I'm going to be like, and slide over to Jeff Cannata to describe exactly how magic works.
Well, it works like this, and she cuts herself.
Fahima turns back to James and goes, "People in glass houses."
Fair.
I just want one pirate to have seen it and be like,
Just dives off the
backing
edge of the
slowly out of the room.
I'm out.
All right. So,
Ooh.
Lily, tell me, you said you were going to sleep. Is that right? You were headed to bed down.
Yeah. James, are you gonna watch the door?
Yes, I'll stay here. Yes, and I'll try to take a short rest here guarding the door. But no, I mean, it's been a long day, and we need you and Fahima rested. So.
Okay. I don't want to scare you, but if anything happens to them, my long rest will just be the last rest that I ever have.
Right. Whitebeard won't touch you. Don't worry.
Okay. I just want to make that clear. Thank you.
Of course. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of people that would probably lay down their lives before Whitebeard gets to touch one hair on Lily.
No way. No way.
Yeah. Then I'll go find like a room to try and rest because I am completely depleted of exhausted.
All right. So you feel the ship moving underneath you, cutting through the water, and this is sort of I would guess a rather soothing, even through all of the strangeness and horrors that you have seen over the last day or two.
Yeah.
I would imagine that Lily being close to water again is allows her some rest. Is there anything else? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say before she goes to bed, I think Lily would have a hard time falling asleep and just say, "Grammy, I wish you were here. I could really use your help right now. I don't know what the best thing is to do, and you always know what to say. And I don't know what to say. And I don't know what to do." Grammy?
If you're here, give me a sign.
I'm so sorry. I should just keep myself on mute. Oh my god.
All I know is that when we get back to the studio, we're bringing your cat.
Absolutely.
Somebody really needs a cat familiar, just so we can.
I think
You
that's
are the cat familiar.
And you're the cat familiar.
Civ, not now!
I'm like pawing at your door.
So good.
Let me in. Let me in.
And then I'll.
So Lily, as you sort of say that little prayer, if I can use that word, that little moment of reaching out, it is not lost on you that as you conjure the thought of Will-O-Wisp Dumblestuck in your head, your Grammy, that the way you conjure her in your head, the way you imagine her, the way you remember her is with two legs. And because of Yan Mo, she has one.
Jeez.
Oh, dang, Jeff, dang.
Oh.
Brutal.
Oh,
God.
I mean, true, but
Yeah.
right.
Thank God nobody died at the Battle of Bingle, because if any of them had
A
died,
lot of people died.
A lot of people
Jan-
died before the battle. The battle of Bingle.
Yeah.
True.
A lot of the Bingle community died.
right? But if a Dumblestuck had died, Yan Mo would be, sorry, he'd be floating out to sea right now.
Yeah. I mean, I think Lily's gonna have a hard time falling asleep, but she knows that she has to, so she'll lay there for as long as she needs to. But yeah, I think all of those thoughts are racing through her head. Grammy, the way that Bingle was. I mean, the last time I saw Bingle, it was decimated.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And even though you saved it, as you said, you know, your friends Nilsson and Nelson, the Gooby twins, one of them is dead. There are many people who you were familiar with who you know were lost, dragged under the
Jeff.
sea.
She knows.
I just want to make it clear to everyone.
Just reminding you how tragic everything is.
Just reminding you.
Just trying to tempt you to go into
How
a room and hurt a
bad.
5-year-old. You
So
can
Lily-
prevent all
Lily's-
those deaths.
Lily
All you gotta
has
do
loads
is
of
one
nightmares.
thing.
Hey, man.
It's brutal.
It's a
True.
game of choices.
Oh,
It's a game of
absolutely.
choices.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else anybody else like? Anybody
Yeah,
else
I'm
would
going to
like
give
do?
a big hug to my friend Uggo,
Oh.
and I'm going to tell him, you know what, my friend?
Mm.
I think everything's going to be all right. I know I'm not normally the one who's very positive,
No.
but deep
That's
down,
right.
yes, I know I'm usually the one that's most critical,
Yeah.
but deep down, I think we've done something good today, saving this family,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
None of us-
I told Sauron that we were gonna do it, and we did it.
Yes, and none of us died.
Well, we
Right?
almost did.
I know.
I almost died. I was almost I was older than an old orc.
Yes, I was right there with you.
That's why I've been talking to you about how I feel and fear and things. It made me realize a lot of things.
Yes, and I think we were tested, right? And we came out on top. So we need to
Whoa.
take a moment to congratulate ourselves
Mm.
briefly before we go into
You
another.
mean love ourselves?
Yes,
I like that.
good. Now let's go and spend some time with Whitebeard. Just in case we go mad, I want to make sure I take him with me.
Oh. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, I like him. I'm
What?
sorry that he dies by my hand. I mean, I like him in that when he's not being a coward or a jerk, or most of the time. But he seems like there are parts of him that I just wish there was parts of him that would show up more often. You know what I'm saying? Not
Yes.
good with words.
I think I get what you mean. It's very valiant of you to say that.
Yeah.
It's all right.
I mean, I still end up killing him, clearly, but
Yes, you do. Rather brutally, actually.
yeah. Well, and on accident, if you recall.
I do. I do.
Kind of a sad end, really. when
Yes.
you think about it.
And I remember his eulogy was quite touching as well.
Yeah.
Lots of whipping.
Yeah. I too was whipped.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yes.
You're right though. We should take the time to man, it's late.
hmm
And I'm still more than half my hit points gone, so I might
Why don't you go lie down?
I
changed my
think I
mind.
might just sleep here.
Yes.
Like right here. No, really, I think I'm gonna do that. And sits down, just lays down.
So, go ahead. I'll go lays down.
Yeah.
Siv, are you going to stay there?
Well, I was going to try to get him to at least like an area where no one is going to bother him if he tries to sleep.
Oh, yeah, we can go elsewhere. I'm just really tired all of a sudden.
Yes. I'm going to try to get him over to like maybe like where there's some rigging or something where I can hide him behind some piles of ropes or something just so he's kind of off out of the way.
Yeah.
I know he's not going to want to sleep down below because he doesn't like enclosed areas. So,
Yeah.
you know, out of the way, I'll get some, you know what? I'll take the old sail that's all tattered and ripped up and
Yeah.
I'll use that to kind of hide him.
Okay.
As soon as he gets there, just thump.
Yeah. I'll go as you kind of fall to the ground. Siv puts this tattered sail kind of around you, and you're off to the side of the ship. And Civ takes some time and makes sure you're all hidden there and not going to be bothered. And then he fluffs up this canvas sail and puts it down with its holes all in it and these threads, all these tears in it. And Civ makes sure that you're okay and kind of leaves you be. And as you're there, just kind of half awake and half asleep, your eye catches the view of a lantern on the side of the ship, kind of banging into the side, and it's lit. And there's a flame inside, and you're just kind of really tired and half looking at it. And the flame is flickering, almost as if it's a candle. And then it flickers out. And it comes back. Stronger. And you go to sleep. Civ, anything else? Are you going down to Whitebeard?
Yeah. If I'm gonna go crazy, I'm definitely taking that man with me. Yeah.
All right. So you go into the.
Sorry, I know there's some people out in Discord land that have a secret love affair with Whitebeard, but
I get it.
Sorry, sister.
So you make your way to what you remember to be Mervis's captain's quarters, but now, of course, Whitebeard is in there. And as you arrive, the door is even still open, and he's sort of inside, and he looks over at you and he says, "Oh, Tabaxi, come inside. I wanted to talk to you."
Oh? And I walk in and close the door.
Yeah, have a seat.
I'll carefully sit down in the chair.
I need to ask you something, because I get the sense you're pretty savvy. You think this Triton is telling the truth about the treasure?
Yes. The short of it, yes. The long of it, there's more to it than there's treasure.
A curse, he says. That's what Loudmouth told me.
Well, curses can take many forms. But I also think that if it's a treasure trove from the Shazengao, it's going to be protected. Which means traps, guards, curses, whatever the Shazengao can muster to make sure that their treasure goes untouched.
It also means it's a mighty fine prize.
Yes, it does.
Because it seems to me right now, we could just take these three and turn them in to the dynasty. Get a nice chunk of gold and be on our way. No more fuss, no more danger.
15,000 gold, by my count.
Your share would not be small.
No, I expect not.
So tell me, Cutthroat, what do you want to do?
It's funny you should ask this question. It's something that I've been thinking a lot about. Personally, if it was me, I would turn them over for the money.
A bird in hand, so to speak.
Yes. Unless Choron can prove that this treasure exists, other than the one trinket that he used. And he
So
comes
you think
forward.
He's a liar.
No, I don't think he's a liar, but I think he is withholding information.
And if we can't,
Can't get the information out of him?
if he can't prove it,
Well, then, Shazengao it is.
and we kill him, and we kill the boy.
Why would we kill them? Aren't they worth more alive?
Well, I assume that's what the Shazengao want to do. But maybe you're right. Maybe it's just a bring them back alive type of deal.
Well, they're going to want to make an example of Choron and his son. The son will die, surely. His blood's tainted, and they don't want the royal line, to be tainted.
This is my point. Turning him over for money kills the boy.
I nod. Do you have a problem with that? And I'd like to roll an insight check if he hesitates.
Okay. You have advantage from the Carson, and it was countered by Saint Thief.
Okay. I know he's got a son, so
Yep.
not good. 9.
I'd kill my own boy for 15,000 gold.
Roll me a perception check.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
Dark.
Whoa.
Advantage from Lily Dumblestuck fan, countered by the Carson.
Whitebeard has out Whitebearded himself.
Ugo takes everything back.
This is perception?
Somewhere you wake up. I was wrong.
16.
Past Whitebeard. At the corner of the door, you see young Mervis listening.
Oh,
Damn.
damn.
And as soon as he hears that, backs away and walks into the darkness.
That's gut punch after gut punch tonight, man. Wow.
It's clear to you that Whitebeard does not see that happen.
Yeah, I don't see a point in telling him either. Why are you asking my opinion about all of this? Are you on the fence?
No. I want to know where you and your ilk lie on this. I don't want any pushback. I'll take it under advisement as I always do, but the promise of more gold and whatever else is in there. I watched a desert turn into a paradise before my very eyes. I've been around the seas, and I've seen my fair share of magic and iron. Never seen anything like that. It might be worth the danger just for this story.
Yes, and they don't really pose much of a threat. So as long as they're alive, you can pursue the magical treasure. And as long as they play along, You can always trade them in later for the gold.
Well, thanks for coming by.
It was my pleasure. And I stand up and salute him and then turn around and walk out.
Anybody else have anything else tonight before?
Well, I'll just be continuing. What do they call it? Like when you have to do an experiment over and over again to make sure it's actually true. Multiple trials.
Clinical trials. You're going into clinical trials.
Multiple trials to ensure accuracy. But eventually, I will go to bed. I'm not just going to be bleeding out my body and healing myself all night.
Well, the thing you notice is that you seem to be able to create this effect, but it has a detrimental effect on you, right? You are literally cutting into your own body and using your life essence in a new way.
Mm-hmm.
And it is go ahead.
No, it's unrelated, so please.
It is a new experience for Fahima, but it reminds you of some of the concepts that you perused in the book from the Ashen Mage.
Blood lance.
Yes, absolutely. When you saw the blood lance spell, it very much, instead of using your own life force to heal, that spell used it for violence, for offense. But it is similar principles, and you are sort of making these connections and coming to conclusions that you've never put together before. Your mind had always put magic in a very specific box and it thought about it in very specific ways, and you're starting to realize there are other applications for it and other ways to tap into that weave that are perhaps a little darker, but perhaps also useful.
Yeah. I'll definitely be talking to Lily in the morning. Sorry, Morgan.
That's fine. At a certain point, I guess, if it sounds like the family inside is asleep or resting, I will walk up to the deck and kind of keep an eye, like how Saugus is doing sailing around the lighthouse. Do we expect to be doing that through the night?
Yeah, I mean, it is an interesting thing. You look out across the deck as you see, Saugus at the helm. Look out across the deck and see that beam of light almost parallel to you at this point. So the beam of light is here. The ship has kind of moved at a perpendicular trajectory from it and then turned and now is kind of parallel to this light. And it is a strange thing. Light doesn't tend to behave that way, right? It disperses as it moves out from its source. And here you have this very focused, almost pathway of light beamed onto the surface of the water. It is a strange thing to witness, but it does seem like you are far enough away from it that the path of light isn't going to intersect with your trajectory anytime. And you are moving still sort of toward what you believe to be the island and into darkness, but there is some peripheral illumination that spills out from the source. So you can sort of see a little bit better, just with your naked eye about kind of where you're headed.
How far are we from the lighthouse?
I mean, it took you overnight to get here the first time, right? So it takes several hours to sail. So you're quite a bit out. I mean, I imagine by the time you wake, you'll be much closer.
We're pretty far from. Oh, okay. So we're pretty far from Boster, but as we're sailing beyond the light, can I see the lighthouse itself?
No, you see this sort of light beam. That's one of the strangest things about it, right? Is that you don't even see the island yet. You just see the light sort of emerging from nothing right now. It's not behaving like light behaves. It's behaving. It's this like spotlight that is shooting out, but you don't see the source of it. It's almost like a rainbow. You don't see the source. You don't see the end. It's just this like beam that exists that's reflecting on the surface of the water.
I think James, is studying that light a lot and trying to see if he can see the lighthouse, thinking a lot about who and what is in there.
Yeah, roll me a perception check, James. You have advantage from Cold Candor.
Thanks, Cold Candor. 13.
You know, you're looking out there, you're trying to see some difference in one section of water from another, how that light bounces off of it, trying to figure out, triangulate, like, where were we when the ghost ship hit us? Where were we? Is there something I can perceive? And there does seem to be, you can't be sure. You can't be sure if there's some, from here with the naked eye, you can't be sure if there's some different feature of that piece of water, or if you're even looking at the right piece of water.
And no sign of the ghost ship, I assume.
No.
Okay, I will go back and, like, basically curl up outside the door of Choron and his family's cabin, wherever they are, and sleep on the floor.
All right, so I think everybody has basically bedded down, and it is a long rest, after which you emerge, and here there is light. There is a dawn. There is a morning. It is as if you're sort of outside the whatever situation you were in on the way to Castle Rum, where everything was dark and it was sort of impossible to judge what time of day it was. It was sort of impossible to know if it was the sun was in the sky or not. You were in this weird fugue, this strange, just dark grayness. You're kind of outside that now, and it does feel like you're in more normal waters as dawn breaks on the ship and as you all come awake. It's not even clear at this point if the lighthouse is still illuminated. You can't quite make it out, but you definitely are getting much closer to land. You can see Boster out in front of you, and off to the right-hand side in the distance is definitely Ocean's Gull Point.
Morning, everyone.
What's the plan?
I think we should find out. I think Whitebeard's going to expect some directions from Choron right now, to be honest.
You have no idea.
Yeah,
He and I had a little talk last night.
Got it. Well, the sooner he can satisfy Whitebeard as to where we're headed next, the better. I would really like to go back to the lighthouse and pay a visit to Jaspin. Or the
How are we
Viscount.
going to keep Whitebeard and his crew here while you go and do that?
Jaspin is in the lighthouse?
Yes, I'm sorry. I thought we told you that. Jaspin.
You might have, but I did not put it together.
Jaspin is the Viscount, the man who gave us the liquor of the dead. He's still alive, and he is living, and he is in the lighthouse.
Didn't the lady say that we should avoid the light?
She did, and we did.
You don't think that the light encompasses the lighthouse?
I think she was speaking mostly about the ghost ship. At least that was the sense that I got.
Ah.
So how is the demon tied into this?
Right, where is that demon?
I think the demon is what convinced Jaspin to do what he did to begin with.
Oh.
It just sort of flew off.
Do you think the demon went to the lighthouse?
Maybe.
Well, if I was a giant demon with wings, I could do just about anything.
Listen,
Probably perch on top of the lighthouse and wait for us there.
Listen, I think it could be the demon, or Jaspin constantly referred to these old ones. Multiple times. He said the old ones were, told him he was royalty. And these old ones, I think so the Lord of Crows could possibly be one of these old ones, or
But wait, if what's the guy in the lighthouse name?
Jaspin.
Okay, Jaspin. But if Jaspin is royalty,
I don't think necessarily that he is.
I think he's self-appointed royalty.
I think the old ones. I think the old ones get inside your head, and they tell you lies, and they get you to do what they want you to do.
The only old ones that I've ever heard of are perhaps wardens.
I think these are something different.
Something different that I've never read about in books.
Hold on. What's the benefit of going to the lighthouse? Are we going to try to get information out of this Jaspin, or are we just seeking revenge?
I think that these old ones possibly could be the things that turned turned Chomel into Yonmo. Therefore, that they could be connected to what's going on in our time. They could be connected to possibly what Calcutta Theed is doing.
You don't think that the
They could also
turn Yonmo into Yonmo? It seems to me that...
I think it was more than that.
Well, he's going to grow up without a family, right? Essentially? Well,
yes,
without an extended family and always on the run? That would probably turn me pretty angry against him.
It's possible, but these old ones, listen, we need to have a discussion.
About?
There's been some connections that I've been making, and I'm afraid that I might know more about these old ones than I'd like to be honest.
I'll take a look around and make sure that no pirates are breaking their fast within earshot of us.
You're confident of that?
Okay.
I happen to know some things. Is my book from the library in my pack, Jeff, or is it back in our time?
Back in our time.
First of all, I want to tell you all some things because this is very frightening. I want to thank you for being patient with me about some things.
I'll put my hand on your shoulder.
Thank you. I'm afraid that I might be connected to these old ones. That the source of my power might also come from the same place, or at least, I don't know. Hearing Jaspin talk about these things that got into his head and told him that he was more powerful and better than he was, all started to sound a little too familiar. And the old ones, the Lord of Crows, I'd never heard the name the Lord of Crows before, but it's all starting to come together, and it worries me, and I worry I've put you all in danger.
So Squalash is an old one?
Why does that worry you?
There is no Squalash.
I knew it!
What?
I knew it! I told you!
What do you mean there's no Squalash? Are you a wizard?
No, look, it's very possible that somewhere in this world or in the Feywild, I suppose, there is a small green man walking around calling himself Squalash and chasing rainbows or doing whatever it is that leprechauns do. I have never had the pleasure.
I don't understand. So where does your packed power come from?
This is a very long story. But there are books. As you know, Nightstone has, there are very few books left over from before the war. And Nightstone has some of them. And I wasn't allowed the arcane books. I wasn't allowed the books. I wasn't a student. I wasn't allowed to learn magic from these books. So I just focused on history. I focused on the mundane. I focused on culture, religion, things like that. And I found some things. And I found reference to these old ones. These dark, ancient, extremely powerful creatures that created the abyss. That these demons are their servants, are their minions.
And you
maybe
You thought that was a good idea?
The stories of the old ones are that they are all powerful, or that they are, or that there are stories of certain people taking power for them without them even knowing. And I found one. Its name is Shothragot.
What?
Shothragot?
Yes. It
Jeff?
was created
Religion? Check on Shothragot?
Sure. You can roll. You have
Sorry,
advantage
Morgan.
from False Star, countered by Grim Fated.
Sorry, Morgan.
Can I also roll a history check?
Sure. You have advantage from Lily Dumblebag, countered by Grim Fated.
4.
Oh man, I rolled bad too. But I've really high. 12.
Neither of you know what he's talking about, but you're enraptured.
I wonder if these old ones exist in Orklands.
They exist everywhere. They're not really of this world. They're of other planes, other places, other universes even. And I found this thing, this Shothragot, that was created by the Abyss as a kind of sentient weapon, but it was dormant, it was asleep. And I thought I had found a kind of back door, so to speak. A kind of way to draw some, just a small bit of power for myself. I mean, again, I thought that just a stupid librarian looking to stand up for himself and to cast a couple spells would never register.
But you killed a person.
That happened after.
But it was your
After.
power that killed him.
Yes.
Didn't occur to you then?
I knew I had magic. I thought that was just my mistake. I had never.
Was it? Or did Shothragot do it?
I think I did that.
While I normally say that it's never the magic, it is the caster who is responsible for the arcane energy they expel. In the case of warlocks, it is an exception, and I do believe that the power can overcome your consciousness.
The truth is, I never heard from Shothragot. I thought it had never noticed that I was around.
So you have been visited by an entity.
Listen, please. Until the beach on Bingle. That was the first time I had ever been visited or heard its voice or anything. I thought I was getting away with it. Because I had never intended this. I never wanted this. I just wanted a little bit of something for myself.
What did it say to you on Bingle?
It said, I see you. I notice you. It said that it grants me its power. It called me its warlock. And it allowed me a question at that time. And my only question was, did I have my own free will? Could I do what I wanted with this power? And it said yes. And it's always said yes. And it's true, I don't know what Shothragot wants. I've asked him multiple times.
He's punished you. He's punished you.
He punished me because I got very angry with him after the debrief.
What?
Because I threatened to destroy my book, destroy my arcane focus, and walk away and stop giving it access to whatever is going on with this. The truth is, Shothregard, as I know, was created by the Old Ones, but they're different things with their own interests. I don't know what it wants. It could be helping us.
Well, I told you once that all I wanted from you was the truth.
I know.
That there would only be the only consequence of the truth would be that I would be on your side. I don't know what this Shothra God wants from you, but I will do what I can to protect you from it. But you need to be honest with us going forward.
That is...
And for what it's worth, I don't know what they study, but my human mama, she was studying something too. I don't know if it's old one or I don't know, but there's something wrong. There was something wrong with thorn orcs. She told me.
Okay.
And I saw things there. And not all of them were good.
I have a question, James. So, you're saying that you found the connection between perhaps Shothregard and the Old Ones, and do you think that perhaps the Lord of Crows is part of the Old Ones or part of that energy?
It all rings way too familiar a bell.
So, it seems that there's sort of a missing piece here, because we know that you're saying that it could be a good thing, but all we've seen is bad things. And we know it turns Chomel into a monster.
And we know that its power has allowed me to do all the good that we've done together. It could have stopped me at any time, and it hasn't. At least I think it could. I don't know. We've talked before about a deal, about any sort of deal that I made. The truth is, I don't... There was no real deal struck. I gained magic, and I gave it access to my mind. I don't know where it is. I don't know what it is. But it's not like I can just stop it. The reason that all of this, that I've been able to do everything, that we were able to save Bingle, that we were able to stop all of this powerful evil, came from it, for me.
It doesn't have to, though. We've talked about this. You could study. You'd
You
be a bit
didn't
behind,
meet me.
but...
You've never met me before this. I was a nobody.
Who do you think I am? I'm just a homeschooled girl from Axbright who's no one's ever been there.
Who was born from a genie.
You're made of
Well,
fire, and
so
you're a
the story
genius.
goes. So the story goes. It's not... That power came from you. And how you wield it. And that's true for everyone. It's not the weapon, it's the wielder. All right?
But if we also need to realize that if he knows everything you know, that's a lot of power, James. Knowledge is a lot of power. I know because I seek it myself. Knowledge, I mean.
It sounds like you don't know if you want to rid yourself of this pact or not.
I don't know how. I don't know. And if I just stopped, what would that mean for all of you? What would that mean for the things that we're trying to protect?
So what? You can't cast an Eldritch Blast. So what? You can't send a message. You're still you. You still have an incredible mind, incredible charisma, one who leads us into danger. has a silver tongue, can do math on the spot.
That's a power I don't have.
You are valuable without your magic. But it's up to you to decide if you want it or not. If you don't, I believe there is a way that we can help you. There must be some agreement that this being can come to.
Civ, Lily, you guys have been quiet. What are you thinking?
And you see, I'm not meeting your eyes. I'm terrified of everybody's response to this.
I don't say anything. I just look at Lily.
I don't know what to say anymore. I feel like everybody's been lying to everybody this whole time, and
I'm so sorry.
I try to find the best in things, and I try to find the best in everyone. That's my whole life philosophy. But at some point, if I try and find the best in everyone, who am I hurting on the other side?
Well, I don't
How
think
am
James...
I not to know that James's knowledge is what led them to Bingle in the first place? How am I not to know? How am I not to kill that young boy in there who kills my community of people? What do I do? I don't know. You know, I set out on this journey to spread joy, to bring the joy of Bingle in. I've done quite the opposite, haven't I? I've brought the despair of the outside world to Bingle.
You didn't bring that.
I don't know that anymore, though.
You have done incredible things. Incredible things. I've lost count of the amount of times that you have performed a miracle.
In isolated incidents.
They add up.
Tiv, what did you tell me?
About?
Last night. Why we're here in the past.
You mean that we're being tested?
Second chance.
Exactly.
Learn. From mistake. Mistakes are not mistakes unless you learn from them. Wait. No.
Yes. No, that sounds right.
Is that right? Is that I get
I don't think it's quite right, but I know.
No,
what
I
you're
think
saying.
you know what I'm saying. I'm
If
like,
you- if
they're
you
not
don't learn
mistakes
from
if you
them,
learn from them. That's it. There it is.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
it. They are not mistakes if you learn from them. Right?
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't change what happened, and it doesn't, free you from the consequences of choices. But you can learn, and you can make better for next time.
I don't think you made any mistakes. And as to what you should do what you ought.
Well, he
And
did
come
make
what
a
may.
mistake, though.
What was the mistake?
He lied.
I don't think James lied, actually.
He said he did.
I looked him in the face and I said, don't lie to me. And I don't think he did. So this entity has a different name. It still comes from dark origins.
Yeah,
He's
but
still
it's
being
not a
truthful with the
leprechaun.
way it affects him. So what?
What do you mean, so what? It's a demon or something from the abyss. I assume
In my
that means
mind,
demon.
in my mind, this Squillace was also some sort of demonic entity. And Lily, you're afraid that perhaps James's connection with this entity might have brought turmoil to Bingle. But what if you had known sooner? Do you think you would have cast James out? No. He would still be here.
If I could have saved my whole island, I would have. And I don't like saying that, James. I don't think this is your fault, and I'm not trying to say that you intentionally did that. It has
You
less
don't
to
know-
do with you.
You don't know if that's true now, and you wouldn't have known had James told us a month ago. Because we don't know anything.
I pointed this out before. I said this when we grabbed the amulet.
This is why
We are pawns in a game. We don't even know who these people are. Things.
This is why
The
we
old
need to go.
ones and-
This is why we need to go to the lighthouse. If Jaspin knows anything, if there's any more information about the old ones, we need it.
How are we going to get that information from him? Do I need to break his arm and make him tell you? Is that what you're saying?
Not necessarily.
He's not going to give up the old ones. You barely
We-
could. The only reason he gave them to us up is because we're friends and we love you.
I don't know. There's a sort of pride in there with him. He seems
didn't
kind of
meet
he seems kind of a braggart, to be honest. I don't know, but there's possible that I could
Wait,
deceive him, maybe.
somebody. Braggart?
Yes, one who brags, who boasts.
Oh, that makes sense. Brag. I know that word.
So, James, what do you hope to gain from more knowledge about the old ones? More clarity on where you stand?
Anything. More clarity of where I stand, who's connected, what's connected, are they what poisoned and corrupted Chomel and turned him into Yonmo? Are they connected to Calcutta Theed? Is Shothragot connected to them? I don't know. I need anything. I have one book.
Something is occurring to me, which is you may not be in the best place to be able to objectively decide if your power is good or bad, just like Chomel. And I know you can't decide right now, but I just worry that the more you find out, the more you might be drawn to that power, no matter what it stands for. So, if I were you, I would make a pact to us that you trust us, you trust our judgment, and you trust that we will love you no matter what. But that perhaps there may come a time when you can't be objective. But it's up to you.
I trust you. I'm sorry. There's no more lies.
It's all right.
This is it. It's all I have. I'm so sorry. If anything that I have kept from you has hurt you or anyone, that's all there is. And if the day comes, if ever the day comes, and I will look at each of you, when you look me in the eye and you see something else there, and you don't see your friend, do not hesitate.
I haven't. I picked you up by the neck and demanded answers. And that time you told me there was no more lies.
You shouldn't. I can't expect immediate trust. I've been lying to you for a long time, and I'm very sorry.
I still trust you, James. And I know it's not easy to just hear from your friends, but I really hope that you go to bed with the thought that you are more than your power. You always have been.
Thank you.
I do not.
The same can be said of all of you.
I did not say that to throw it in your face. I'm just being honest with you. It is what a brother would do.
I know.
Well, now you have time to prove it.
I intend to.
And as you all sit there, stand there, in that moment, the ship moving underneath your feet, the wind in the sail propelling it forward. A lighthouse comes into view. On the edge of land, rising to the sky, the soil around it, full of death. And that's where we're going to end tonight.
Yeah, great episode.
Wow.
That's one for the books, ladies and gentlemen. That's one for the books. I think it was the potatoes. I don't know about you guys.
Definitely potato
power.
salad.
I want to thank some folks who gave us love in that last section. Locomotive 1134, The Brush of Tea. David Gen Pro, Just Jules, Red Robin, A Silent Watcher, Arcane Rebel, Gamershare, Doug in Texas, and others. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. You guys okay?
Yeah.
All
Oh
right.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
That was a fun one.
Oh,
Kudos.
yeah,
Good stuff. I like it when I can sit back and watch for hours at a time.
That's when the DM gets it good, right? Set it up and then wait for 30 minutes.
We had so much battle build up that we were like, it's time to talk.
So you can set it up and wait for 50 episodes.
Yeah.
Who, me?
All right. So,
Figured 50 was long enough.
thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here with us. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for those potatoes and those balloons and all of the advantage and disadvantage. We didn't use very many of them tonight, but I think next week there's going to be some interesting decisions to be made, interesting places to go, and interesting new information. So I hope you're with us Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific, caffeine.tv/The Dungeon Run for the live experience. All of our episodes and back episodes, of course, available on YouTube or as an audio podcast. Just search for The Dungeon Run. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Until then, humankind.
People! Love you.
To all of you who played along and interacted with us throughout this evening. Milo, pump it up. That's a good one. It's a good jazzy tune. Actually, that's not jazzy at all. Our humble thanks. And thank you to everyone. Well, that's a little bit of like EDM, isn't it? Ooh, hey, we got lights in the back? All right, let me get back to this. And thank you to everyone that shared our adventure. And be sure to join us live next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific right here at caffeine.tv/The Dungeon Run as The Dungeon Run continues. Click the star to follow the channel to get live notifications. I kind of want to just stay here for a bit and do a little head bopping. Hey, Milo. Milo's up, by the way. He's good to go. He's actually doing a little shindig dance over there on the carpet. Oh, he fell down. All right. He was doing a good job, but until next week, everyone. For The Dungeon Run, I'm Lord Ereban. Milo kicking it on the carpet. We love you. We appreciate you. And until next week, may the dice roll in your favor.
It started.
As a simple dungeon run. As a simple dungeon run.
Let the dice roll!